Yes, people, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. First of all, I'd like to apologize for starting late. I had a technical issue that I have to sort out first. Otherwise, there will be a lot of issue with the show, but I'm glad I'm able to sort it out. Again, thank you for finding the time to join and for being patient with us. Again, the whole thing is everywhere right now. It's confusing. It's life draining. It's energy draining. Even if you've been patient, right now you say that you become impatient or you're pissed. But whatever it is, again, it's not looking good for the Chelsea fan base. But I'm still hopeful. It's becoming embarrassing to me that I really don't like it. So, but whatever it is, we'll talk about it. Talk about it today. We will look deep into the Jules Kounde situation and come to conclusions where we think he will end up. Again, there's no guarantee he's going to Barcelona at this point. It's until they make an official statement. If they put out one, let me know. And there's no guarantee also that he's coming to Chelsea. And we've always said that here. So sit back and relax, and let's get into the show. Big up, guys. Greeting to you all. I hope you all are doing well. How are you? How are you all doing? Tobago, IBZ, and Thai. Tobago, I'll start with you. How are you doing, brother?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Well, I can't complain except that I'm a bit pissed. I haven't, I haven't jumped on the panic bus yet. I'm still patient. I must let you know that. But I'm kind of pissed of how, regarding the way things are going right now. How about you?
Ah, man, to be honest, I'm also not happy about this situation. Like, it's like another Ravina situation whereby we almost agreed a fee with Sevilla. Now, now just Barcelona are telling Jules Kounde, you need to wait until we make an offer. You'll come to Barcelona, just like what happened to Ravina. So I have a bad feeling that we might lose out on this deal.
hmm how about you, IBZ? I know how you how you feel about the whole thing, but I want to know even more. Let me know how
Good
you feel right
morning,
now.
my brother. Good morning, my
Good
panelists.
morning to you, to
Good
pardon my
morning,
man.
my Chelsea family. You
Mm,
see, if I start to talk, if I talk, when I was talking before, it was as if my mouth was smelling. But
mm,
now I am happy that the prophecy of my consign is coming to fruition, where everybody is seeing the consign. Jules Kounde, we are chasing around a player that didn't know his A to B to C, and that now reports are saying that he's agreed to Barcelona. That is all well and good. Why did we spend our time chasing after this guy? We do. We Thomas Tuchel has highlighted the problems within our camp in which reinforcements are needed. Uh, it is good. It is well that the concerns that we all face are being shared. So with this situation with Jules Kounde, I am not surprised. Why would I be surprised if we don't have footballing people in place that will be able to convince the player, pitch the project of the Chelsea um, family to the player? We don't have that. So what are we expecting? Um, we should forget about these type of deals getting done very quickly because we haven't got the people to secure it. We haven't got the right personnel. And what I was saying, when you don't sack your best in class, albeit if they weren't good or not or what have you. But these are the guys that were supposed to help you with these deals. In my opinion, if they were there, the sellings, the outgoings we needed as a club, the incomings we needed as a club, it would be much more smoother than we have right now. But what can we do? We just have to keep the blue flying high, stay optimistic, and we hope for the best. That's the only. I can't kill myself. I'm not gonna give myself headache. I'm not gonna give myself hypertension. I'm not gonna stress over a team full of players that are earning way higher than my wage bracket. So what I can do is show optimism and know that Thomas Tuchel and Todd Boehly will address the situation at hand, and we'll get what we need very, very.
So do you think our pursuit of Kounde is over now? Do you think we're not going to get him?
Coach, I ripped that off like 2 weeks ago. It's only last week I said I don't want him, but I think it's over. It's gone. It's over. If it was supposed to be done, yeah, it would have been a similar situation like with Sterling or Kounde, where not Kounde, Koulibaly, where it will be a thing of terms agreed, he's flying to London over the weekend for a medical, and then Monday morning we have him announced, or even Tuesday. It's not like that. We don't have nothing like that. So the reports are still saying, Barcelona. So for when it gets to that stage, it's over. That's over. So from the reports, I think True Blue even highlighted it this morning. We're looking at PSG's RB Leipzig's Mukwele trying to hijack it for a Timo Werner swap deal. My opinion on that is I think that's going to take long, and/or it's not going to happen because we haven't got the right people in place to push that deal.
I think if we try that, we're just going to continue wasting time.
Exactly.
I don't think PSG would let us hijack the player.
Exactly.
They have money to. Even though they find a way to navigate the FFP. Yes.
Do we even have the personnel to hijack deals? Who are we? We don't have the personnel to do nothing in this transfer market. We're little fish. We are little fish. We are babies. Barcelona proved that to us, that we are little fish in this transfer window. We can't get deals done. So I don't believe that we can hijack any deal. I don't believe we have it in our minerals to be very ruthless like that. So if he comes, if he doesn't come, I just have to worry about what I have and whoever comes in when they come in. I'm not worrying about no more reports. It's what we have a week. We have next week season starts. I ain't got time no more. So yeah, the players in my club, if it's Kennedy, Ross Barkley, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, all of these guys, get training, get fit. We got Everton in a week. That's my own. All of them.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly catch up with the chat. Again, sorry that I didn't start that way. And I'll come back to the panel to find out what other panelists have to say about this situation. And this is Triply saying Chelsea now linked to right back Nurdi. Is it Muko? Is he talking about Mukorela? Is this different, or Michele?
Yeah, he's talking about Mukwele.
Mukorela. Okay.
Yeah.
PSG have bid for the Frenchman from Leipzig. We want to include Timo trade again. Look at Delete and Leao. AC now looking at Catalia. I don't know how to pronounce that name, from Bruges. Again, I think it's just looking as if we're confused. But that's by the way, I'll come back to that. Any Catalia deal would be a threat to Hakim's move. He didn't feature for Bruges in the last league game yesterday, or offers cash first, then subject to Timo returning to Leipzig again. Thank you, Peter, and I hope you're doing well. Again, I'm going to skip a few comments here to get to the very bottom because we're starting late. And this is Lamb Lane says, Blue morning, Kachula panel. Blue morning to you too. I hope you're doing well. IBC, sorry, I'm going to skip some of you. Skip your comments here to get to the very bottom side.
Skip it.
So I'm not far too behind. Yes, I have complete trust in TT, but our deadline, our dealing on the transfer is poor for me. It's fairly simple. We have an offer given to both clubs and players, and it takes to take it or leave it, as we haven't the time again. But I don't think we're doing take it or leave it. Is that what you're saying we're doing already? If that's what we're doing, it hasn't worked. Blue morning to everyone, a friend. And for Chelsea the Kingslayer, blue morning to you too. I hope you're doing well. The way we are leaving Sevilla, mess us, letting Sevilla mess about with us. Thursday looks very bad, and all the clubs will do the same. That's my problem. Other clubs will, in fact, do the same because they will sense we're desperate, and they will sense like we don't know what we're doing, and maybe we don't understand actually how to go for players and get it done That's what I'm seeing happen here because we have people that are inexperienced and like I've suggested before, I think they have the money to do so, hire football directors as, expatriates. We don't have to be permanent this time, but help us get this done because they've made the mistake of letting the two people who were at the club that would have made the situation easier on them. They let them go, and now it's looking like they're struggling. I don't understand how Barca are able to contact players on the contract, both Real and Barca, do it without punishment. It is just a fair game now to say to a player reject this team. Again, it just doesn't make sense. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Apologies if I missed your comments here. Again, but I'm seeing quite. Let me just try and leave it and be highlighting it as we go. Here's how embarrassing it's become. Even Arsenal's director of football, Edu, is indirectly having a dig at us. Look at what he said. Arsenal director Edu, Deco always told me that Rafinha only wanted Barcelona. That, even though if he told you that now, it just sounded as if he's saying, look, we're better off. We knew all this why, and that's why we didn't push. It's become embarrassing. Ty, I want to get your thoughts, and I want to I want you to let us know. Do you think it's over for us? Because I'm seeing some people still believing it isn't over. And I would like us really not to let this one go where instead let's pay the buyout clause because it's becoming embarrassing and that will hit the reputation of the club really hard.
Okay, first of all, blue morning and everything. I hope everybody
Good morning to you too, Ty.
For me, I said this yesterday. I think we should pull out. Just pull out because this whole thing is back and forth. It's obvious that the only way we'll get Kounde is if Barcelona cannot economically compete with us and everything. And right now, that doesn't look like that's the case because they look like they're going to get all the time in the world to sell who they have to sell and then get him over the line. Because to them, it doesn't matter. We're the ones that are going to be struggling because our season starts in 12 days now, if I'm not mistaken, or something along those lines. Well, theirs start a bit after us. I think it starts in the latter stages of August. So
they have a very good squad already.
Yeah, so they're fine. But at the same time, they can let this push on for weeks because their season doesn't start until the late stages of August. So we're the only one that is struggling because we have lost two centre backs and we could potentially lose another one, and we're trying to replace them. So the issue that we're having is that we need to do this. But to me, I think probably should just pull up because this has drawn on for too long. We keep hearing that we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that. But at the same time, like I said before, I can't blame Kounde for what in Barcelona because Barcelona have always persisted with trying to get him as their first choice. We went all around the world and then we went to him. So whether or not we were doing it because we needed players in those positions for the sole reason that we've lost certain personalities. But I mean, he's going to look at the situation and say that we had an agreement earlier and then you're going to other clubs and everything. So I look at the player side, I understand what we did and I understand why we did it. But at the same time, I can't blame him. So, and plus Javi is showing great interest. We haven't heard that Tuchel is calling him and trying to explain the project to him. And things like that.
We don't have to hear that. Managers do those things when they want to sign a player. It's just the Spanish media probably, I think they know how to use the media outlets available to them more than we do, probably because those we have in place at the helm of things right now don't understand the politics of the transfer market. So they're probably using it to make Jules Kounde feel even more important, even Thomas Tuchel hasn't called the player enough. Because we shouldn't be hearing how many times Xavi called him. But go ahead.
Based on what we're being told, because we're not in the negotiating room and we're not in the boardroom discussing what to do. I can only go on what I'm seeing or what I'm hearing and what I'm told. The situation is that we're hearing, although I think Fabrizio Romano is leaning towards Barcelona. We're not hearing anything that all we're hearing is that Tuchel is frustrated. He wants players in, he wants 3 players, he wants this, he wants at least 3 players and things like that. We're not hearing that he's pushing for these players per se, as in personally. We heard that he called Sterling explaining the project and things like that. We heard that he was calling Delete. We heard he was calling Koulibaly. We've not heard that about Kounde. So that to me is I cannot be saying to myself that okay, maybe it's a case where he really wants a player in because he's probably looking at other alternatives. And I think if we're looking at other alternatives, which I don't really know how competent those are, then we should be moving on because we're wasting weeks, and we wasted 2 weeks on Rafinha when we could have gone to other targets in other positions that is more important than the attack. But we keep doing this. The defense and midfield is more important in my eyes. It should be for the club as well, because we need proper balance in the defensive side of the team. So I think in that case, for me, I have to say maybe it's over for Chelsea at this moment, because if what is being told is true, his first choice is Barcelona, and they're going to get the opportunity to do what needs to be done. So, I mean, I think we should move on. And plus, what you have on the screen as well, for me, I mean, this is something that is not a surprise. And I know, in the past, we're using this narrative that if we pull out, it would give our Arsenal the opportunity to come back in. But if this is the case, then would they have
They weren't going to come.
Yeah, that means they wouldn't have come because they would have accepted defeat and say that, okay, he wants to go to Barcelona, so we might as well not try because he has already made his choice. So if that is the case, then I don't think they would have come back. And I think maybe if we were given this impression as well, and we're not just looking to say that, okay, maybe Barcelona will not be able to compete and beat our day, maybe that's why we held on for too long. But for me, I think this is the best thing right now. The thing for me is I just think that this whole situation, we need to do we have to be brutal about this in the beginning, and I can't blame Todd Boehly fully. I can give him some blame, but at the same time I have to understand that he's coming into a business where to him he's focused on the baseball side of it. So us doing swap deals, trying to swap players in for this and that, and him wanting the best players, it's not realistic because players don't just look at the fact that, okay, this team needs help and things like that, and I can do something for them. They look at what is best for them, best for their reputation, best for what they want to do future-wise. So if it's not beneficial to their career in their eyes, they won't look to come to the club. So for me, I think maybe because for him at LA Dodgers, what he did is he went for the best players with the opponents that he competes with. And that's the way that they slowly build, because they got the best players possible. We're trying to do that now, but these best players have their preferences because they look at, and it's two different sports too. Because Barcelona have history, they have a historic reputation. They have a man as the manager who is attractive because of what he did as a player. So players will look at the fact and say, okay, Xavi is interested in me. He was a legend at Barcelona. He was a key player to what they did over the years. They will look at that and say that, okay, I'm going to join this club because he's there and their project seems beneficial, and I know what Barcelona asks for, and I know their demands, I know what they try to achieve. So this is the situation for me where I have to say that Todd Boehly is at fault because he has nobody there to help him understand the market, because he's coming in a market where he has no idea of how it really operates. But the positive of this all is that I'm hoping that he'll see that you cannot always get the best easily. It takes convincing. It takes having the guts to say that, okay, you're playing with us, we're going to move on. And you go forward. We cannot be wasting days and weeks on players when there's, and I don't remember who said this a couple of days ago, when you have millions of players out there who could probably be even better, but because our scouts are not even that good to really do the deep dive into these leagues, into these player profiles, and to look at what they do. Because I always say that I don't care if the player plays for the third division in France. If they have the right attitude, if they can help their team when it's necessary, that is a plus, because that is the mentality you need. If nobody else is doing anything, you say, screw it. I'm going to try and do something. I'm going to try to get this team a goal. I'm going to try to create something. I'm going to try something. Try and try and try. But what we don't do that. We look for the best and the players that look attractive and they're scoring 20 goals a season and things like that. Look at the players and what they do and not only the goals. Because the goals doesn't matter if you cannot have the physical attributes, if you don't have the traits that is necessary. So to me, I think we should move on Kounde. It's unfortunate that we held on for Rafinha for 2 weeks, because we could have used that 2 weeks to work on other targets and then maybe come back to the attack after that. But
I don't think we wasted time. I think even when we knew there's a chance Rafinha wasn't going to come to Chelsea, I think Todd Boehly knew already, and what we're hearing after that, except if they were all lies or just the fan base being in denial, was that Rafinha wasn't a priority. But that's, by the way, my argument here right now. We shouldn't let this one slip away. If it's about money, let's show we can buy him. Let's not just go overboard. For 55 to 65, it's not bad yet. And I want to say this. Yes.
And again, Kounde has a release clause, right? So
yeah.
Don't do this.
No. Let him express it. Let him make his opinion known. Go ahead.
Well, tell me what I'm going to say. Tell me.
You mentioned the release clause, and the release clause, there's only one thing you can do about the release clause, and that is to trigger it. If that's not what you meant, I apologize. If that's not what you meant.
Go ahead, Tobago.
Yes. The only way we can win this is trigger the release clause. But again, look, I'm not finished. Look again.
Ty, let him finish so you understand what he's saying. He just said the only way we can win this will be to release, to trigger the release clause. He hasn't said we should do it. Let him finish.
Yes. And again, all I'm saying now, if we really need Jules Kounde, we should just leave the offer on the table and then look at the other targets. I'm not saying we should trigger the release clause.
Okay, and that's what I was saying, that if that's not what you meant,
here's the thing. I don't care how to do it. At this point, it's become embarrassing. And again, the reputation of the club is at stake, because people are going to start treating them like that in the future. Except if they know that we have a reputable DOF in place who they know they can't bully like that. But at this point, they need to start well. And the more they waste time, the more they'll be losing out on all the targets. And now we're hearing their interest on Mokolele. PSG already they have a bid in for the player. And if they try to hijack that, PSG, they're not going to let it happen. They're not going to let it happen, except because from what we're hearing from True Blue, they were offering, that's our offer, includes Timo Werner, which the club, I don't know if they want or not. It just doesn't make sense. It's everywhere. We don't have to, even if Barcelona are going to take him, it shouldn't be easy. Maybe it will be okay to just do it the Rafinha approach, just leave the money there. If you're going to get him, you'd have to pay more money than us. But at this time, I'm all for, if for any reason Sevilla takes anything less than we've offered, then something is wrong somewhere that needs to be looked into. If that happens. But I'm hearing that the incentive, the offer, that is the offer they're making, includes putting more money down. We should do that if that's the case, because it's not like the player doesn't want to come to us. He's talking to both clubs. But my issue, it looks like they know the structure of our offer to Sevilla, which means somebody's licking it to them. They shouldn't know everything. They should just know, okay, we're offering so and so amount overall, the structure of the deal, and the salary for the player, and not know every detail of what we're offering to Sevilla. If you ask me, I'd say that's why they're actually able to look at it and say, okay, maybe we should do this so that our own will look even better. So anybody else want to add anything to that? Because I'm really pissed right now.
I just want to add this because I think people misunderstood what I was saying. I wasn't saying that Todd Boehly doesn't know how to do business. I'm saying he doesn't have a full understanding of the market. The market in baseball.
He doesn't know how it's done for football.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He got us Sterling and Koulibaly. The two things that people need to focus on, those two players were open to joining. Raheem Sterling rejected Real Madrid because of the project that he saw under Tuchel, and because of the fact that he likes Tuchel, and he said it, unless he's lying, but he said it, that's the case. Koulibaly came and said that the move that came for him 6 years ago, the move didn't come to fruition, and because we're interested again, and with the help of Jorginho and Mendy, who convinced him as well to work with them.
And he actually wanted to join Barca too.
Exactly. So that's the point. I'm not saying that he doesn't know how to do business because that's his role. That's what he went to university to do. Economics, business, things like that. That's what he did. So I'm not saying that he doesn't know how to do business. All I'm saying is that the baseball market and the football market is two different things, because in baseball you can swap players, and you can do player sales, and you can trade, and you can do things like that. In football, that doesn't always work because although the player may be attractive, they may have other players in that position that they don't want to add more to, because they have to guarantee game time and things like that. So player swaps and trades and things like that cannot happen in football all the time. So I'm not saying there's not to do business. I'm just saying that sometimes it's not easy. But I guess in that sense, you'd have to consider the fact that both players were open to joining us. Kounde wants Barcelona as his first option, and then if it doesn't work out, then he's coming, and that just seems like a red flag. But I don't know.
I mean, I'm not sure what to say, really. Again, I'm not panicking yet. I just don't like the way things are going. We're setting a very dangerous precedent here. Every club we're dealing with now can feel like they can out-muscle us. Even bidding us, adding 2 more million or even 10 more million, they wouldn't be that bad. He's a player if we really want him. This shouldn't happen twice from the same club, and again, end up getting Cesar Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso. We're sending the wrong message. We shouldn't let that happen. And say what you like about Marina. If she was here, this would not be possible.
But she failed to get Jules Kounde.
How did she fail to get Jules Kounde, if you want to talk about it?
Marina.
Yeah, how did she fail to get Jules Kounde when it was what's the name? Sevilla that moved the goalpost. They were the ones that said, okay, we agreed on this, but we're not selling again.
So we should have got him before selling Zuma.
Whose fault was it? We had to let Zuma go to make space. So again, I'm not here for the blame game again, because we're going to start going in circles and just blaming somebody who's even no longer with us. Again, here's the Kimpembe case is, again, he's torn between remaining at PSG and also coming to Chelsea Football Club. So there's nothing is straightforward to us right now. I don't know if we're doing the convincing enough, like Ty alluded to. I don't know if it's an inexperience of the people at the helm of things. What's going on? Something isn't really wrong, because there's never been a time where we're going for players here, there, and clubs are very confident that they can just come and snap up the player, snatch away the player under our noses and go away with it. And for Barcelona to be confident and try to do it for the second time, and they're coming for Cesar Azpilicueta, and they're coming for Marcos Alonso, and those players are willing to leave. They want to leave and join them. We're setting a dangerous precedent here. That's why I'm saying we shouldn't let this go away. Maybe just letting it happen, unfold, just like the case of Rafinha did, will be enough. If they're going to get him, then they must do something special or better than we've done to get him. If Sevilla are looking for a bidding war, I don't think they're going to do it. I just want to get your thoughts. Do you really think we should pull out of this deal?
Yeah. Why are we chasing a girl that doesn't want us? We've been toasting this girl for a long time, and the girl's doing younger, and we're still chasing.
But there's no way to say it's his fault.
Well, I'm sorry. It takes 2 to tango, and it takes one more person to open his mouth and say they want to play there. Rafinha made that very clear when he wanted to play for Barcelona. Kounde hasn't made anything clear. So we're just saying, waiting on Sevilla. At the end of the day, the player could help everyone out and say, yeah, I want to play for this, I want to play for that. It's my dream to play here, it's my dream to play here. He hasn't done that, so we're all just playing Chinese whispers or guessing. And I don't think the player's worth it. I don't think the player's worth the time, the mindset. Is he the solution to all the problems that we are facing? The one that Thomas Tuchel is crying? He's not. Let's move on. Time is not on our side. Go Barcelona, mate. Enjoy the weather. Have a good day.
Here's the thing. Here's your argument. The time isn't on our side. That's even more the reason why we should wrap up this one that we've started already, because the process of signing a player isn't like if you snap your finger like this, it happens. That's a process. Talk to the player, start negotiating again. Then we'll start in afresh. If we move on to the next target, we'll start in afresh again.
But we did it. We can't do that because we haven't got people in place that can help us secure this deal properly. This is a rigorous market. We're not aggressive enough to even go in a bidding war. Hell, we're not even aggressive enough to hijack a deal from Paris Saint-Germain, whose whole different ethos this year is to sign French Parisians who want to play for Paris. No more stars, no more big names. They're changing the whole ethos and they're going for it. What does Boehly know how to hijack? What does he know how to hijack? He don't know how to hijack.
That's even the reason why we should slug it out on this one and get the player, because trying to hijack from PSG, it's not going to happen. They have experienced heads there already.
So you want to continue waiting for Jules Kounde to make?
It's not about waiting. There's a way you do it. You leave with your dignity intact. Give them an ultimatum, and we haven't done that. We can't just pull out like that and make Barcelona feel like they're gods. Can come and do whatever they want, wherever we are. And of which they can't. They cannot, given their financial situation. I'm not saying they're broke. They still have money, but they're being careful on how they spend. They're being strategic at this point, which means we can push them. We can push them to the edge. If they're serious about it, we'll give these guys ultimatum and say, okay, take this or forget it. We can't just pull out.
But it's not just Laporte at Barcelona. They got directors of football, sporting directors in place to get these deals
done. Why are we trying to hijack a deal from PSC that has all the structures in place, experienced personnel in place? We can't even measure them. Except if we go in and Leipzig says, okay, since you're giving us Timo, maybe we should consider that.
Maybe that's
the only thing that can help us hijack that deal.
That's the only bargain we have, actually releasing our asset to offload our wage bill on a player that don't want to be here to acquire something. Can you see how life is now? We have to swap to get what we want. We're done out here. I've accepted the reality. Todd Boehly has to, moving forward, he will learn from this. He will learn. He's new in it. So you've been eaten up. You've been welcomed to the new school. You've been bullied in your new school. Your first few months in this new school, people are showing you how it's done. So I expect him from the next transfer window to use his common sense. His brain will now tell him that, I need people that are going to do
No, he shouldn't even participate in that.
No, he won't participate. He will put people in place that will do the deal. He will put next. This is just a wake-up call. So, but I accepted, Coach. I woke up this morning with optimism, say, you know what, last, it is what it is, isn't it? Like, if Kounde goes to Barcelona, if he agrees terms, it just goes to show that we weren't ready enough to get the deal done. There's no two ways about it. It's not like we say we don't want him. We want him. So why is it taking long? We don't have the expertise to push this deal, finalize it, and get it done. We don't have the contacts to phone Laporte and say what's going on or his connections. We don't have that. When did Todd come into business? When does he know Laporte from? Not like Marina probably has contacts with Barcelona, like directors. It's not like that. So
this will be even more embarrassing. The fact if we don't get Kounde, and they ended up getting Kounde, Rafinha, and then taking two of our players, and they got one on a free two, and this man traveled with his private jet all the way from the United States to Spain to talk to Laporta, and probably he was the one that paid for the meal because he arranged for it. So you're telling me, so it just doesn't make sense that we'll let this happen.
Hey, Coach, it obviously don't make sense because we haven't got people in place that's going to make this transfer make sense. Obviously, we get what we get. Why are we surprised? We have an inexperienced man coming to take the sole responsibility of our transfer dealings, and we're now worried that things are going pear-shaped. No. We wake up and smell the wood that's burning. This is what it is. This is our cup. This is our cup of tea. This is our cup of tea, unfortunately. Todd Boehly doesn't have the experience to talk to these guys about football and get deals done. They'll probably laugh at him in a meeting room. They'll probably look at this guy, Mugu. Let's see how we can whine him. Let's see how we can, manipulate him. Let's see how we can rope him. Yeah, normal. I'll do that if someone comes in the market and don't know what he's doing. Yeah, normal. But obviously, him to use his brain and wake up and say, yo, I've been bitten this time. I can't be bitten again. So that's what we have to do.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna quickly catch up with the chat. And again, I want to say this quickly. This isn't up to the player. It is Monchi. Is that how you pronounce his name? He's the one that's playing this game. He's the one that's playing this game. They want more money one way or the other. And because he's a smart guy, I'd be surprised if they'd be willing to lose around 5 million extra from us. If they take that deal, Barcelona deal, even though they're paying more upfront, but they're not paying too much upfront. And I'm still saying, if the difference is that they're paying more upfront, we should pay more upfront too. The whole thing doesn't come to, okay, Kounde saying, okay, I'm gonna, because what we're hearing is that he said he will accept the Barcelona offer to him. And it's not all up to him. The club also has to say, okay, we agree on the fee we're seeing. But that's why let me catch up with the chat. And I'm glad that we have the driver of the panic box here today. And I want to get his opinion. Now, he says, Atolo says, Kachila, how are you? If we would have started early in the market, we could have signed the top targets. Now they're gone, and all our competitors have, strengthened. Look at us now. That's just the truth. But we didn't start early because we were under restrictions. But that's, by the way, I'm going to let Rodrigo come in. I want to know your thoughts on this whole thing. I know you don't like the player, but I want you to be objective. Let me know what you think. Yeah. If we let him go, if we let these guys get him, if in fact the difference in what we're offering with what they're offering is just that they're going to pay more money up front. If we let this player go, how you feel about it, how you think it's going to affect our reputation or as a club, because they've taken, they're the ones probably, they tapped him up. Andreas Christensen, probably, even if he wanted to say they tapped him up first before he looked at them and said, well, I could go to Barcelona. They tapped him up before he decided to join them. They've taken Rafinha from us, Jules Kounde. Now, Marcus Alonso may well join them. And our captain, Cesar Azpilicueta, that's 5 players. It's like, they're like the lords, and we're worshiping them.
But we need to offload those players. They're not good enough anymore.
No, just listen to me. But I get your argument. We need to offload them, but that's not why. And they even given us they've given us the price they want to pay.
Right.
And those players, now let's see it from the reputation of our club. Exactly. And by the way, before we continue, I want to say, if you're watching, please, we have 194 people watching. If you're watching, please take a second to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, those things do go a long way. And as I've always told you, you don't have to donate your hard-earned cash to the channel. You being part of the conversation, watching even when you're not commenting, sharing the video on social media platforms, those things do go a long way. And if you haven't, again, like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if we have 124 votes in the poll. We should have 100 likes as well. So please, thank you. I cannot thank you guys enough. Go ahead, Rodrigo.
Yeah. So first of all, before I start, I wanna address this shambolic preseason. Whoever organizes preseason need to be fired.
That needs to be talked about.
Yeah,
because it just doesn't make sense. Too much traveling, few games.
We've only played. At the end of it, we'll play 4 games. This is the worst preseason I've ever seen from a team.
But the focus is the money they will make and the business and all that. Yeah. I'd rather us stay in England and play 5 friendlies.
Yeah, this is pathetic. This is going to cost us at the beginning of the season. Right, so now, regarding Kounde, I'm telling you, I think there's a lot of wishful thinking among the Chelsea fans. It's not just Monchi, the Sevilla guy. This is also on the player. The player simply doesn't want to come to Chelsea. We just have to accept it.
Exactly.
If this player really want to come to Chelsea and makes it clear, like I want Chelsea, nothing else, the way Rafinha did, the player would have pushed hard and he would have been a Chelsea player.
But if you're looking at things from the player's own perspective, he suffered actually.
Yeah, but the player, if the player suffer really and he won Chelsea, he can tell. Look at Rafinha. Rafinha apparently told Deco, because we heard it from the Arsenal sporting director, told Deco, listen, I'm not interested in anything but Barcelona. This is where I agree with IBZ. You have a sporting director. You have someone that can contact, like what the Arsenal person did, just to get information. Oh, Deco, what's your agent like? Oh, what's your client? Is he interested in moves at Chelsea? You don't go put £55 million bid on the table at Leeds United when you know the player doesn't want to come. Well, you don't actually know because you didn't ask the agent. So that's just that. It seems like we repeated the same mistake that we done on the Rafinha here with Kounde. I know we've talked to Kounde before, but situations have changed since the transfer window started. Barcelona have been in contact with him constantly. Xavi on the phone with him, telling him the plan, telling him the story of Barcelona. What we done? We went to Sevilla. Apparently, we put a bid, verbal agreement, but apparently there's nothing in writing yet to say, right, we're gonna sign Kounde. But if Kounde really want to come,
I think that's not the truth, brother. You know,
that's what I heard. I heard we have a verbal agreement, but nothing in writing yet. And if
Rodriguez,
why
was the Rafinha bid bad?
Sorry?
Big up everyone as well. Why was the Rafinha bid bad?
What was it? Oh no, the process of bidding it, what I think was a bit. I think we should have known from the beginning. You can't just go bid for a player who
Why can't
he's
you?
not interested.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I think that we were.
First of all, he probably wasn't completely uninterested. You can't say that. But why was it bad? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, it was no. The bid was bad because we should have known from the beginning instead of going and embarrass ourselves bidding, knowing that the player doesn't really want to come to Chelsea.
What about what about Arsenal when they bid?
No, Arsenal
did they have the same input? Arsenal bid after Barcelona.
Before.
Okay, let Rodrigo, let him land. We will bring it.
Let me finish on Kounde. I think.
I want to ask it before you got off track.
Yeah, because the topic is Kounde. I think for me, Kounde is.
No, I was gonna relate to Kounde. Like if we're pushing Barca's, we know Barca's in a squeeze, and Barca's selling all their stuff just to get money, right? And they're spending it like as if the Super League's gonna start in a couple seasons. That's how they're going about it.
Yeah.
Right. And they're probably telling the people buying their rights, they're probably telling them that they're gonna really push for the Super League as well, and that's probably they're buying the rights because that's a massive investment for them. You know, you buy the rights now, and then you're going to make your money if the Super League does happen. So
go ahead, Rodrigo, finish so we'll bring in Declad.
Yeah. I just want to.
It's my bad. Yeah, I'll go after you.
Yeah.
No worries. You're good, Declad.
I think should we move away from this deal? How deep are we in negotiation with Sevilla? I don't know, but it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Everything. It's been a very, very poor preseason, and adding to this, the transfer hasn't been good enough. I'm worried, but it's not looking good. I'll let.
No, you're worried. You're driving the panic.
Yeah. I don't want everyone to be panicking. At least let me panic by myself. I don't.
So you don't want us to pull out of the deal?
I would. Do you know what? We need to talk to these players. The way we're dealing with this.
Rodrigo, can I ask you something?
As well. It's a reputational thing as well. I know Tobago was saying.
That's where I'm concerned.
Yeah, Tobago.
And this is like bending us over and doing whatever they want from us.
It's about
Rafinha, Kounde, Cesar Spilicueta, Marcos Alonso, and then Andres Christensen. Because, like I said before, they tapped him up before he decided, you know what, I'm not going to extend anymore.
They're tapping up a captain.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
5 players.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you can do this under Roman's reign.
No.
Go ahead, wrap up so I bring in the
we're looking very weak. It's not looking good. I'm not liking this. Are we a big club or not? All right, I'll let the Declare go.
Yeah, exactly. That's the question. Are we a big club or not? Declare, you can come in. They said we need. Jeff Sikwa says we need to settle this thing we had with Barcelona in the Champions League. It's too much now. I hope we meet them. I hope we beat them, but we have to have some good signings in to be prepared to
We
face
could
them
lose that.
because they have some good squad.
We could lose that.
Yeah, we'll lose if we meet them right now. But the club you
meeting
coming.
them on the, don't worry about meeting them on the field. It's not going to make a difference in
won't.
negotiations.
But it's just for the fans, it will be satisfactory if we meet them and beat them on the pitch. Well, go ahead, Declan.
The response and from everyone in the fan base, even right here, even from yourself, Coach, it seems like your frustration, anger, you guys aren't being as clear. I mean, what do you care if they got Alonso or not? And let me say this, yeah, and I think people haven't, a bit blind to reality. Let's say these aren't the first players we lost in the past. Like, so Chelsea didn't always get their players, right? There are bigger clubs, and Real Madrid, are like on the pinnacle.
Can I ask you now, or should I let you finish? I want to ask you something quickly. Well, how many times in the club's history have we lost up to 5? We'll be losing. That's 5 players to a single club, and 2 of them hijacked.
No, you added the 5
you could argue that way.
It's really if Kounde goes, it's going to be 2 players.
Except that's what I'm saying, 2 of them, but that means in total they'll be taking around 5 players from us.
You're right now. They're the biggest buying club, right? Because Barcelona are selling their rights. They're buying. They're selling their future for short term. So they're spending their money now.
They're selling their liver for a short term. I'm trying to see things
hold
from
on.
perspective.
Let me finish the point, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right now, and this is what everyone has to understand, right? Right now, Barcelona, with their members' permission, right? So the levers didn't happen on one position. This is a members' vote, right? So as long as they sold their rights, they spend the money now, right? So the reason they got the permission to sell with all the board, everyone on board and the members on board, right, as an unanimous vote to sell their future, is to spend the money, right? So the members wanted to see transfers, and that's what they're doing. They're selling their future for now, right? So because they made that deal with their members, right? So they're the biggest. They got money, and they're the biggest buying club at the moment. Barcelona going to spend heaps of money, right? Because they sold their future for it. Chelsea also, with Todd Boehly coming in late in the game, is ready to dish out money. So Chelsea and Barca are involved in so many transfers, and there's certain players out there, and that's why we're going to clash. We clashed on heaps. Getting Christensen, that was done a long time ago. That was out of even Boehly's hand, right? Rafinha, we went in for, and go back to what I was going to tell Rodriguez. Pushing Barca to pay more for Rafinha was good as well. And if they wanted to pay it, right, they had to pay a premium for someone that wanted to come there, right, over us. Now Kounde came in the same boat, but now it's taking longer, right, because it's 50-50, right? Because you got to sell them a project. People think that it's Boehly, this, that. You can't just make any player come to your club. You have to sell them a project. What is Chelsea selling Kounde, and what is Barcelona selling Kounde? And Kounde, when you're in the same league, right? Kounde sees the success of Barcelona. He also saw the downfall as well, but he also saw all these players coming in as well. So Barca are going to be real competitive, and Chelsea isn't, because we're not signing much, right? So you got to sell him a project. If Boehly shows him that this player's coming in as well, then yeah, we're selling him something. There's a different sales pitch from last season.
Why can't we sell him a project?
Can you tell us why we're not able to do that?
Why don't we have the people in place to sell him a project?
I've heard you say it before. Why don't we have these people to sell them? You know what's part of the project is the players, right? You show them what the players and where you're going in the future and how much you're going to invest, and the coach. There's heaps of factors. People at the top, you're talking about magicians and salespeople or something like that. No, that's not how it works. The project, right, is how much you're gonna how much you're investing or on what's the term, what's the goal, what's the age of the players. This is how the manager wants to play. So it's down to the manager and the way he plays, the role the person will get, right, and whether that person thinks how much game time he's going to get, and whether the city is great to live in, and his family is going to like it. There's all these factors,
Okay.
and then you got to sell him a pay
Why does
package.
Why does that fall in the hands of Todd Boehly? Why does it fall in?
There's
his
a whole
hands?
team
Someone that
behind
has
it.
no- so but
There's
people
a whole
that have
team
no
behind
football
it.
experience.
There's an ambassador
No
that
football
talks to him.
experience.
There's Tuchel that talks to him. There's so many factors. And when you guys just put it down, even if we got a director of football, all those factors are still there. You can get a
No.
director of football, and we can still lose Kounde. The only director of football, the only thing that director of football does, right, is identify a massive plan. So we buy this type of player, this philosophy, and just make sure we stick to an
We need an
ideal and
Edu.
get the same players.
We need a Joel Edwards
So-
declared. We need an Edu.
Yeah,
we need a Joel
let-
Edwards.
You can get
let's-
Edwards, you can get Mitchell, you can get all three of them, right?
Yeah,
And Kounde
we-
can
we
still
need
pick
it.
Barcelona. And this is what you don't get. This is
No, no,
All
no,
right, all right,
that's
get-
good
go
enough.
ahead,
This is the
Declan.
blindness
Let's
of
let
reality.
Declan land.
But that's okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
this is
Yeah,
the
so
blindness
we're
of reality.
coordinated, yeah.
The whole fan base is thinking that certain people in positions of power, right, can just make players come. You have to sell them. You have to sell them something, and we've lost. And you know what? This is public one. We've lost heaps
you're
of
mentioning
bits.
you're mentioning the obvious. You're mentioning the obvious.
I am mentioning the obvious, and you guys
Obviously.
are repeating
but
the
what I'm
false
saying-
Let's let
narrative.
Declan
Why aren't we
land,
getting?
so we can be
Yeah, you-
coordinated? Let him land so
Yeah.
he
Alright,
can
no problem,
respond
no
when it's done. IBZ.
No problem.
So
Yeah, sorry.
So-
Go ahead, Declan.
So the solutions that people are saying are not real. Not real. They're not real. That's why I'm making the most obvious points, right? End of the day, and then this all, and we're going to be in for a whole bunch of players, right? And the window's not finished. We're starting late. We started the transfer window late. We're going to start the season late, and to go back. And because I forgot some of the stuff I was going to say, to go back, I want to make the Rodriguez point about the preseason as well, right? That was planned ages ago. That was planned before whoever Boehly came in. That was planned. We're going US from a long time ago, right? And that happened because we're limited with COVID as well in terms of travel. So there was only certain countries you can go to. So, and the reason why all the games are close is because of World Cup as well, because the season starts early. But
Is that why
also,
we play
I wanted to
less
address.
than Arsenal? Sorry, Declan. Is that why we play less games than Arsenal in this preseason? Let's play less games than any top 6 teams apart from Man City.
Less games or more games?
Less games than everyone in the top 4 or top 6 apart
I
from
think
City.
Rodrigo is still talking about the preseason.
Yeah.
We've played 3 games.
Yeah, that's less.
I
That's less than.
I want to
everyone.
add something.
They've played 3 games too.
No, Arsenal have played more.
David,
No, Arsenal have played
let me
more.
add something. Let me add something.
I might have a travel thing, but also I want to make a quick point when you brought up should we continue on Kounde? Of course we should. We should continue on every player. We're in for so many players, right? We shouldn't let up. It's not just sit on one player. We should be in for a whole bunch of players and inquiring. And they're probably out
Just quickly,
already. Everything I
big
said,
up
they
to
are
you,
doing that.
Fahim.
Anyway.
I hope you're doing well. Go ahead, Declan. Go ahead, finish your point, bro.
That's basically I want to hit up on the points, and I'll
So,
answer
do you
any questions
think?
that
What do you
pop up.
think it
I
would
want
be
to add
best in
something,
this
guys.
particular situation? And quickly, if you haven't, please go check out CFC Fahim's YouTube channel and make sure to subscribe. The question I want to ask is this: What do you think will be best for the club? Pull out, or stay
Just
there and
answer it
find
then.
a
Don't
way?
pull out.
Sorry.
You don't pull out for any player. In this time, we don't pull out for any player. We should just be in for everyone
Yeah.
till the end, till we know that player doesn't want to come.
Yeah, because it just doesn't make sense. Because my argument is, again, if we pull out, we move to another player, we start everything afresh again, and it's not that simple. For
But
instance,
it's not. But
Yeah.
the perception. It's not one player. You just don't. You can't just work on one player and then work on another, like only one at a time. It's not. You don't work. You don't have to work on one at a time. You can work 5 players at once. Do you know what I mean? And then end of the day, you just go, we're going to go with this player. You don't have to follow through. You inquire about so many players. You do personal terms. You go, yeah, all right, I'm interested, and then you try to work with a club, and whoever comes first. Like, I honestly believe Sterling, Rafinha, and Dembele, we only probably wanted one of them, and we just went in for all of them, and we offered them, and whoever worked out the best. Do you know what I mean? So, same with Kounde. You know, we're in for Delete. That didn't work out. Progress on Kounde. Probably that doesn't work out. And they're probably got the next person lined up as well that they've already been talking to. And this is going to happen a lot. The only problem is the closer it gets the deadline, the more we take risk on some probably choices they didn't want to take a risk. The problem we're having here is that, so the real issue, and you know, it could be a good and bad thing, because I've seen in the future how it works out. Good team. There's a lot of clubs that don't get their, you know, first, second, even third target, right, and their fourth one turned out to be the best, right? But there is a short list there. We are going for a lot of players. If it's a special, like, you know, the only concern I have, if it's a specialized role, like if we're looking for a certain wing back, and there's not many of them in the way Tuchel wants it, and if Tuchel wants a certain player with certain characteristics that are more rare, they're the ones that, you know, come deadline day, you just can't buy anyone, and then you miss out, and then you have to make shift like we did last season, just turn someone into them. They're the ones I'm a bit concerned about. But we might, I think from this point, from the month of, if in a few more weeks, we'll be overpaying for any player.
Yes.
That's a position we're going to get into. But I mean, I don't mind that. It's not even about the players. I think Tuchel brought up a big point where he mentioned almost a disharmony. I mentioned I felt a disharmony from when Lukaku was there from last season. It felt like a disharmony. It feels like if he mentioned it now, there's probably a continuation. He said players want to leave, and we can speculate on how many. It could be from Werner, it could be even Pulisic, it could be Ziyech was a clear one. Aspie, even Alonso. It could be 1-2 players, or it can be even 5 players that actually have requested to leave, right? Or more. You know, we don't even know the extent of how many players want to leave, and that's when it could be really bad, where we force players to leave, to stay, like Aspie. I could see Aspie wanting to leave and being forced to stay because we couldn't find players.
Case and Alonso, it's very risky forcing them to stay. Then they will leave on a free and join the same team that would refuse to send them to.
It's not in Aspie's case. It's not even that. Like, how much would you get for Aspie, and how much it costs to replace him? Letting him go on free.
That's what I'm saying. It's even riskier. If you try to get too much. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what I was going to say is losing him on a free is not even the issue at this point. Having a player that doesn't want to be here, that actually, with the defenders coming in, actually might get not a lot of game time. And I don't know if Aspie was,
then the
position in
Spain
Spain
you talked about will get worse.
Yeah, it might get worse, but also his position in the national team. I'm not sure if it's up to jeopardy. Maybe he really wants to fight for maybe a potential last World Cup or something like that. I think there's a lot behind it, why he wants to go and the limited game time. There's, for Aspie to leave, there's got to be a lot of factors. He's been at the club. He's pretty much a legend here. He's so established. There's got to be a lot of factors for Aspie wanting to leave. And if we force him here, and let's say for example the World Cup was an ambition to make the last World Cup, and he doesn't make it, then you got a disgruntled player. And then if he doesn't get the game time, we've kept someone that he'll be a professional, do a job, but at the same time he's not as happy. And it depends how, and that's a person that we need to keep keep everyone happy. He keeps the dressing room in order as well.
Yeah,
that's one of the players. Yeah. So everyone's got to really dissect before. I know people are upset and people like to point fingers and like I get that it's an emotional. This is all emotional too. You really dissect of where we're at, but the biggest. At the end of the day, a lot of stuff can work out. A lot of players can still come in. Like it like I wanted Broja to stay, and the fact that we couldn't get some players in probably forces us to keep Broja rather than if they planned on selling him in the first place, right? And now Broja could turn out to be a massive hit right off the get-go, and it could be, and it could feel like, the stroke of oil. He starts scoring, and stuff like that can work out. Certain players that we didn't rate can actually work out. So I think it's best to see how it goes. I mean, like even in that preseason game, everyone was losing their minds because we lost to Arsenal. But I mean, seeing players like Sterling, seeing Conor Gallagher, even Kennedy, seeing like it's a breath of fresh air. These players are doing not bad, right? Even though the game and the performance overall wasn't great, right? But seeing some players perform, and that's not our full team.
Let me ask you this, because it's easy to just it's easy to move to other topics because it's the issue is worrying. Now, what I want to ask you quickly right now, again, what do you think will happen given the situation where we're at right now? But quickly, let me catch up with the chat. And I want to say again, thank you for 255 people watching and 74 likes. If you haven't, please take a second to like the video. Please help us reach 300 likes today. We've reached 280 something, 265, but we haven't. And I know you can help us reach 300 likes today. If we're able to get 282 votes in the poll, then we should be able to get 300 likes in the poll. That much likes, because if it takes a second to participate, a second to participate in the poll. Sorry, I can't speak right now. It takes just a second also to like the video to help us reach our target. But thank you for 250 people watching, and thank you for 86 likes. Please keep liking the video to help us reach more people. And let me see how quickly what I can quickly touch up here, and I'll scroll to the very bottom. So what we have in the chat and the panel, that they are aligned. Sean Peterson says Kounde was Xavi's first choice, and he called him. Tuchel didn't call him. Who told you Tuchel didn't call him? He was actually in London. How do you know he wasn't there to speak with Thomas Tuchel? So we can't just jump to conclusions because things ain't going the way we want, which is, try to console ourselves with whatever comes to our head or whatever we're being told, out there. I say Sevilla are a pain to deal with. Funny how they are willing to shoot themselves in the foot. Maybe they're getting the best though. I'm sure by the end of the day, whatever offer they accept is what's going to be best for them. They're not stupid, and we've heard the stories of who Monchi is and how he likes to operate. Barca sent all the documents to Sevilla for Kounde. Okay, good for that update. Good day, y'all. Smash the like button. Yes, people keep smashing the like button. For me, we have to get rid of whoever mentally not here, and if it means taking a loss, just play the youth. If it's better to rebuild and grow than be stuck in the disease. I think it's a good argument there. We don't have to keep players that don't want to be here. I think Declan also said that it will cause it will heighten the disharmony we're already seeing in the team. The last friendly, Timo looked like he doesn't want to be there. A few other players, and I don't want to get into that. But that's by the way. I'm going to come back to the panel, and I will skip to the very bottom. But I saw just Viola here. She's the queen of the house, so it's important that I recognize her presence. And Liam, Len, everyone, Mason, Liam, I hope you're doing well. Again, True Blue also, I know I've said hello to you. If I skip your comment, apologies. I will try to address your subsequent comments in the chat. So, Declan, I want to ask you, what do you think happens now from everything we're hearing? Did we lose Declan?
Yeah, I think you can hear me, yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry, lagged a little bit. I missed half what you said.
The question I'm asking you is this: what do you think happens now? Do you think the player goes to Barcelona, or do you think this, we get him? Because I see this right now, technically we still have a chance, and we're hearing that Sevilla said that they want the sale completed today.
Yeah, so we're still. I think people can still have rest easy that there's no reported bid from Barcelona yet. right? Till they do that, then we know if they put a bid that is similar to ours, right? Or the same, because Sevilla's going to tell them to at least, at a minimum, you probably have to match it, right? Then we know that it's a case of us bidding higher, or if not, who convinces Kounde? If Kounde actually says he wants to go Barca, then that's it, done deal. He's gone. But if he says he's going here, he's going to come. And I think the reason they're delaying is just to milk more money out of it. If Barca come in, and we could probably bid higher because we're desperate, all of a sudden we end up paying more for Kounde. So,
is this something you advocate we do, at least for the sake of the reputation of the club?
Yeah, it's a bit.
This is the best you can do. This is what I think people don't understand. For any club, this is the best you can do. You put in a bid that got accepted, perfect, right? Then you've agreed personal terms, right? And now and just like every other player, right? And this happens with a lot of players. Multiple clubs come in. There could be more clubs coming in for Kounde. There could be someone else that comes in for Kounde as well and has to do the same thing. It's always down to the player. It's always down once a club has accepted the bids, right? It's always down to the player. Yeah. And that's how it goes.
So why ain't he come out with his own mouth and say, I'm going here, I'm going B? Why is he just...
Which player does that? Just to satisfy you?
Harry Kane did that last year, bro. Harry Kane did that last year. He put his whole club into disrepute because he wanted to play for Man City. He pushed his chairs out the pram, didn't get what he wanted.
Did he say I want to go Man City?
Yes, he said I want to go Man City. I want to play.
He said that.
Who else was going to come in for him? Rafinha did the same thing.
No, but he didn't say I want to go Man City.
Bro, Donny did that last season, bro. Listen, he did that. He didn't need to say City. City's the only team that could bid for him.
All right, that's what I asked. You said you added to it. He said I wanted to win trophies. He didn't even say I want to leave.
IBZ, I'll come to you to respond. Let's take it one by one. Go ahead, Declare. And while you're watching, we have 247 people watching, and we have 97 likes with just a 3 of 100 likes. Please help us get to 300 likes today. With 3 likes off 100 likes, and we're shooting for 300 likes. Please, you can help us get there. We have 310 votes on the poll out there, which means we can actually get to 300 likes if everybody that has participated in the poll would take a second to do the same thing and participate. Just hit the like button. It takes just a second, half a second actually. Declare round up so I can bring IBZ as I'm seeing he's no round up. Finish your point. Sorry, he's eager to come in there, and it's important that we talk about these things. We care about our club, and more panicking yet. Maybe at a point I'll start panicking, but I'm just concerned about the reputation of the club and how Barcelona has bent us over to and doing whatever they want with us. But you go ahead, Declare.
Basically, the point I was meant to make is that there could be any other club that comes in now too as well, right? The best thing Chelsea can do is be in for a player. Show them what you got planned, right? Show them what you're going to invest. Tuchel can talk to how you're going to play, and you just put the best pitch, and that's all you can do, and hope that you can convince the player, right? And there's heaps of factors. It's not just what Boehly does. It's not just people thought Marina swings players. What does Marina know? Marina was just a negotiator, just to make sure numbers were put in. That's it. She had no influence on whether a player chooses. There is not one player that goes, you know what, I like Mourinho, I'm going to move to this club.
Yeah, because that's not what a player. Explaining that to Chelsea fans.
Yeah, so that's why people think.
She's actually the reason why we lost 4-0 to Arsenal the other day.
Yeah, people have lost their mind. People also think that like business people high up have an influence. Like even the director of football came in and they can have an influence. You got to sell that player, right? The team's ready to win trophies, or if Kounde, for his age, if he thought this is a good team to grow in because Chelsea's a bit young, right? That's the difference from him and Rafinha. Kounde might look at Chelsea as being a great team in the future, and everyone's around his age, and he feels this is a great team to grow in, right? Whether Rafinha wants to go into a more ready-made team or ready to win, and also just looking at Barca is more appealing now. Lewandowski, Dembele staying, even looks like De Jong's going to take a pay cut.
I think that's the simple truth. It's more appealing.
Yeah, so right now Barca look way more appealing. That's why Barca even don't even have a better wage structure. Like pay structure, what they're going to pay the clubs and that, right? Even what they're offering is less than ours, because not everything is about money. Because you're not just buying. I mean, if you're just going for mercenaries, they're just going to pick. Oh, someone pay me more. I go there. I don't even care. But for majority of players, there's a lot of factors there. How is he going to fit in this team? Who's there? Some players go if they got friends there. If they from the national team or people they know. That's why people that they're familiar with, whether it's coaches and that, even whether people are fans of Javi's, I look up to this guy. Maybe I like him over Tuchel. It really comes down to the individual and what you sell him, and there's heaps of factors, and it's a massive choice for them, right? And probably Kounde is having that massive dilemma. Maybe right now he is in a dilemma that he has to pick a club, and he's not, and he's weighing up everything, and that's why it's taking so long too, right? Maybe he's been tapped up, and he's talked to, and he's probably agreed, and whoever comes in, and maybe Barca might edge, but on Chelsea's side, that's the best. Chelsea are doing the best they can do, and everyone's solution sounds so ridiculous and not far from reality. That's why I came here with the same argument and from the same tone, and it's almost like why can't people just relax and see that we're not that club that people think we're Real Madrid. That's what people think. People think that Chelsea have the status of Real Madrid because just like how when people say when Real Madrid comes calling, it's hard to turn down. Have you ever anyone heard say that about Chelsea? When every club comes in, the reality is that
the only person that said he loves Chelsea was that's not just him alone. There are other players who say they're honored to be linked with Chelsea. But Jonathan Klaus, who said we saw a clip of video where he says how he likes Chelsea and all that. It turns out he liked Manchester United too. He likes every club in the world. Just go ahead. Go ahead, Declan.
Yeah, there's one player that really wants to come to Chelsea, the Rice, and the whole fan base hates him. So maybe people start appreciating Rice because
I still don't believe that's the truth, actually.
Maybe not, but the impression the guy gives, right, is that like he wants to come to Chelsea, and he might pick Chelsea over other big clubs. You don't know.
Or the twerking.
But
all the twerking.
Yeah, all the twerking that he's been doing, and everyone starts to hate players that want to come here for some reason. But I mean, I think people haven't. It hasn't been as public. I think we're taking. I can't quite remember, but I think we haven't taken like public L's before. Like there's been a lot of players that come out later on, and we find out that we lost to them. They picked other clubs over us, like people. I don't know if people know. Martial picked. We offered more money for Martial, and he picked Man United over us when we really wanted a striker. Hakimi was a public one. People didn't really have outrage there. So I think if I went back, there's a lot of players that picked other clubs over us. What's happening now is very normal, but the frustration is that we need players and they're not coming in. And I think that and people just pointing fingers and trying to say if we had this and done this and why don't we have this and that, and they're all not far from reality.
Something.
Please, yeah.
Can I add something?
Yes.
Yeah, he permits you. He was the one speaking. Cool. He permits you. So go ahead.
Again, now players are rejecting Chelsea over Barcelona, right? It's cool. Let's say this.
There's only been one player. There's so far.
And then, okay, I want you to make this scenario. Last time, when Sarri was here, he got Jorginho, and then Man City got him. Man City won the team, and then we got him first. So that means Man City doesn't have a pulling power.
Bro, forget.
No.
Go ahead, declare round off. I'm waiting for to get IBZ's response to what your. No, go ahead, finish, so to speak.
Because there's a bit more, and there was a bit more to that, and Napoli kind of forced him a bit too. The story
and we
was
paid
that,
more actually.
Yeah,
I think we compensated them either with some, let's say, fee. We had to pay extra to get Jorginho with Sarri. That's the way it was structured. I don't remember how exactly.
So the overpaying for Jorginho was part of paying extra for Jorginho's fee. I mean, for Sarri's fee. So it was a combined thing. Sarri really wanted him. Napoli really pushed him to pick Chelsea over Man City because they were going to get way more money because we're going to overpay and we're also going to get the coach in the deal. That was a bit more complex. But I'm sure in the past, right, there's a lot of players that picked other clubs over Man City. Like right now, Man City looks like the best. Yeah, right now if Pep comes for you, right? It's hard to say no. But you know, and you notice too. I don't think Pep. I mean, Man City aren't buying massive names. You know, massive superstars. They're getting good players from lower leagues, but like
Pep is actually their biggest draw, not the club itself. But go ahead.
Yeah, I just this quote. I remember that they're really trying to bag him, but when Diaz went to Man City, do you remember that as well? When they're saying you're going from a bigger club to a small club because they try to play down Man City, and no one really cares about the stature of that. Man City right now do have pulling power because they look like one of the best clubs out there. Who doesn't want to play in one of the best teams? But clubs like Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid have had a history of success and constant success.
So declared overall, I wanted you to explain to me, do you think Kounde to Chelsea will still happen, or do you think it's done and dusted, it's Barca?
I'm not going to say done and dusted. For me, it's maybe 60-40 Chelsea's way. The delay, if this was Chelsea's, I think it would have happened. The delay is what's worrying me. The delay looks like they're inviting Barca in. And once Barca's in, then, you know, probably not even 50-50. They do have a better team. They're more appealing at the moment. What Barca are doing is more appealing to players.
Yeah, just a quick update here. Just give me a second. Let me share it on the screen. Again, we should just forget about the hijacking news we're hearing, because I thought about it before. It just wouldn't make sense to try to go head to head with PSG in terms of Nordi Mukiele. Sorry if I mispronounced the name. Mukiele, right? Rodrigo, you said that. Okay, because they are much experienced. They have a very good structure in place, and people that are able to help them get these things done the way they understand the politics of the transfer window. Those are the hem of things that Chelsea right now don't. No matter how you see it, except if they're working with a DOF on an expatriate manner, something like that. But we haven't heard of it. If they're working with one like that, we hear about it. So this is even more the reason why I say it's not going to be simple, because you're coming, you have to study the offer that PSG had made already, and you have to have good knowledge of everything. You have to have good detail of that structure in place to try and present something that will be more appealing to the selling club. Maybe, like I said, maybe if they want Timo, Leipzig want Timo, and we say plus cash, and they tell these guys, you know what, I think we prefer selling with these people because we're getting something big in return. But I don't think that's the case. And here it says another one bites to dust. Yeah, that's another way to phrase it. I know the Mukiele is heading to PSG despite reports of late interest from Chelsea Football Club. Again, we've talked about it. It's not that simple. That's even the reason why we have to fight and get Kounde. I'm not saying give them the soul of our club, but we must not also make ourselves look very weak. Because I'm going to repeat myself again. Barcelona, if we let this slip away, they'll be getting Kounde right under our noses, Rafinha the center right under our noses. They tapped up Andres Christensen. He joined them, and there's a chance. Marcos Alonso joins them. I'm hearing that one is close to being completed. And Cesar's requested that's 5 players. That means they're the gods, and we have to worship them. I've repeated myself again. It's annoying. That's the way I'm seeing it. If Todd Boehly wants respect, he shouldn't let this one slip away again. That's my argument. IPC, I'm going to come in, and I want you also at the same time to let me know what you think happens, because I want us to move on from this Kounde talk and talk about the alternatives out there for the club. Before IBC comes in, we have 240 people watching, and we have 118 likes. That's not easy. I have to thank you. I'd be ungrateful not to thank you for that already. Thank you for all your support. Again, but if you look at the poll, we have 388 votes. If we have 388 votes for the poll, we should have something close to 200 likes. It takes a second to like the video. If you haven't, please do like the video. That helps us reach more people. You don't even have to donate to the channel. The likes alone do go a long way. So thank you for all the likes. We're shooting for 300 likes, and you can help us get there. So IBC, you come in, let us know what you think. Because look at it, this is one of the alternatives being mentioned. And also remember, PSG, they were priced away from Skriniar, from Inter Milan, who also can play in that position on the right-hand side as a right back or as a right wing back. And he's capable of fulfilling it very well. They were priced out of the player. And also remember, we did also try to get him when we were negotiating with Inter Milan for Lukaku. That didn't happen. So the options, all the options available, they're not looking good too. And we had the opportunity to actually get Jonathan Klaus. We didn't go for him for 8 million.
Low.
Yeah.
A big low. And you're
Yeah, go ahead.
And when you see what I'm saying? So I've accepted it. It's all about being real, be realistic, so you don't give yourself disappointment. We have an inexperienced, we have a billionaire businessman who hasn't really got the experience in the sports of soccer to understand how we do transfer dealings in the market. He probably thinks this is MLS where you do drafts and first pick draft. No, that's not how it runs. So I have to accept it. Cool. He didn't bring no one in to help us do the deals. I mean, it's not. You didn't just see Chelsea on Friday, buy it on Friday, get it on Saturday. You had 3-4 months. You were with other competitors. You had the whole details of the club accounts, details of the club status. You had everything when you were shortlisted. So if in your businessman, you didn't think you needed to delegate people in place to help you get sortings and dealings, that's your business. Okay, cool, no problem. So me, as a supporter of the franchise, I have to accept that we are not going to be where we want to be in comparison of our competitors, be it signings, be it player positions, be it table positions, be it productivity on the pitch. We have to accept it. So we can say Kounde, we can say Mukwele, we can say wherever. We are not going to
and just quickly, I made a mistake here. Choma, yourself, I said, any news on Kounde not feeling well? Just woke up. Sorry to hear that you're not feeling well. Because we love you here. You're one of the queens of the house. You don't like it when we hear that one of us isn't feeling well. I hope you get better soon. The Kounde story again, the twist, has heightened.
Just go back to bed, my brother. There's no news.
Yeah, Choma, yes, hey, and a good advice if you're not feeling that well.
Imagine people have been waiting for the news since what was it? Friday? I think was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday. Everyone said it's happening in a matter of hours. It's happening. Imagine people are just looking every 5 minutes on. Yeah,
let me just finish with Choma, please. Go get your rest. If anything comes up, again, you'd hear it too, and I hope you get better. And if you're in the chat, please wish Choma a quick recovery. She's always here supporting the channel. She's one of the queens of the house, one of the regulars actually, making sure that things are kept clean in the chat. Sorry to hear that you're not feeling well, and I hope you get better. So IBC, go ahead, and it's funny what Declan just said. Everybody's been waiting to hear the news, and it hasn't happened.
Yeah, exactly. Just to add to what he said, remember last week was it Matt in her saying it's already 90-something% done, something percent done. I was just looking at him saying, were you there? You get meeting phone call. They call you for a Teams meeting. I beg. What I'm trying to let you know is that we haven't got be-all and end-all. Prepare to fail. You fail to prepare. You prepare to fail. We haven't, unfortunately, with sanctions, with new owners, not getting the right personnel in place. This is it. So rather than try, I'm at the point where just focus now. Focus on the new season. The players you have at your disposal, you work with them. Let the guy work on January. That is me. That is my own. Unless he's going to do a Mazzolini in the next 30 days to the end of August, I'm okay. I've accepted. I still love the boys. I love Chelsea till I die. So yeah, I'm not expecting us to challenge for anything for another 2-3 years based on this now. We're going to have a slow rebuild, guys. And this is the reality. This is what I've accepted based on the fact that we are not prepared. And when you're not prepared, this season is going to be very, very fast because we have a mid-season World Cup. So we're consecutive football to the end of October. No international break in September like we're used to. It's consecutive football. So if you have a bad start, bro, you have a bad start. So I have to accept that we're not ready as in comparison to Arsenal, Tottenham, Manchester City, hell, probably even Man United, and also Liverpool. So I have to accept that we may be playing second fiddle to these guys. I have to have that in my understanding because we are not prepared for this. You can't tell me in the whole pre-season we scored 3 goals. You're ready for the season. You can't tell me Kai Havertz up front is you ready for the season. Can't tell me with the players wanting to leave and go, we are ready for the season.
Here's the thing. Do you think this one is gonna happen?
What?
Do you think we're gonna get Kounde? Do you think it's done and dusted? He's going to Barca.
Gone.
Listen, I read that off time ago. Again, like I was arguing with Declared. I said, listen, this ain't prison. This ain't no NDA. Player. Do you know what player power? Player have power too. You know, he can come out and say, I don't want to play no more. Diego Costa did. I don't want to play. Obviously, that was different because Conte told him to F off, which is obviously a different discussion. But differently, Harry Kane last season, he don't want to play. He wants to leave. Poch left. It was looking dire. They didn't know where they were going. Man City coming. I'm not turning up. I'm going. Players have power. Kounde, you got bids coming in for you, bro. Barcelona and Chelsea. Chelsea been longer than Barcelona. I'm sorry. If you wanted to go to Chelsea, you would have said something, hinted something. You would have pushed that a long time ago. No one can tell me you're not going to go jail for it. No one's going to sue you for saying you want to play for this club and that club. You have your choice. So if he didn't say out, it means he didn't want to come, and that's fine. So let's not dwell on it.
Why can't he want both?
Well, I leave it for this long.
Of course, you got 2 big clubs coming in for you. Who's going to give him the best? He's like, I can play for both.
That's wishful thinking, bro. That's wishful thinking.
Exactly. I leave it for this long.
That happens all the time.
No. Declare, let's wake up and swirl the coffee. Let me finish. Declare.
You telling me?
Okay, declare.
Hold on. You telling me?
Let IBZ finish. Let IBZ finish.
Declared. I have not been registered for my current club that I am in. Yeah, I need to make a decision for where I'm going to be playing very quickly. I need to get fit. I need to train with my new teammates. Would you think I have the luxury to wait? I need to make a decision. I need to move on. You owe that to the people that are waiting for you. You owe that to the people that are putting money on your head.
To you?
To the people. Right?
He has the whole transfer window to make that decision.
And do we have the whole transfer window?
It's a massive decision for a player. It's the next. It could be his whole career. You want him to do it because we've only been linked to Kounde for like a week or something, and you want him. The players.
Let me understand this. We've
been on him from the past year since last season, bro. I've been hearing him linked with us.
Listen, if it was only Chelsea in for him, all right. But if he's a player that he's gone from
waiting for Barcelona.
He's gone from Sevilla to 2 big clubs that he would play for. A lot of players will play for multiple clubs, right? They're like, these are big clubs.
And he's got it. That's it. We're not in for him. He's been waiting for Barcelona. So
it could be him, or it could be Seville that want
I think it's Sevilla.
Barca to come in.
It's Sevilla in this case.
But it could also be Kounde too. And he could make a choice out of 2.
So if you as a player not coming out, why should I now be waiting on your mindset? Are you here or not? I haven't got time. I just had a pre-season. I lost 4-0 due to the fact that I ain't got players that probably and you are needed in there.
It's pre-season, man.
Pre-season, bro.
Who cares about preseason?
Bro, Claire, don't be talking like this, man. Don't be talking ignorant, man.
Is this your first preseason game?
Bro,
Did you watch this? Is your first preseason
Let me
game?
finish. Let's take it one by one and move on. IBC, what I want to know from you, do you think it will happen? What club do you think the player joins? Let's move on.
The guy goes Barca, bro. The guy goes Barca.
He's going to Barca. Okay,
if it comes to
Rodrigo,
Chelsea,
I'm going to come
miracle.
to you. Your thoughts, the way things are, and from everything we're hearing. And before I continue, I want to say thank you to 226 people watching. And we have 132 likes. Again, help us reach 300 likes, please. If we have 429 votes, I'm surprised why we don't have up to 200 likes at least. If you can take a second to participate in the vote, you can do so also and participate in, just by liking the video. It takes just a second. Help us, reach 300 likes today. And again, I saw a comment from Lala. What she said, I understand your mind. You have every right to speak your mind. As long as you're respectful, you're not in trouble. And I know you're respectful and you're always objective. I know you're respectful and you are always objective. So I don't fear you saying anything. I will get you into trouble. So speak your mind. I think Chelsea should just trigger the release a clause of a Kounde. Barcelona cannot bully a club like Chelsea and have it their way. It's becoming an embarrassment for Chelsea Football Club. That's how I see it. But again, most people
That actually
see
might be the goal. That for Seville, and we know Seville wanted the buyout clause price, right?
And we
for
know
a long
Munchie
time.
how he operates. So his end game might be to get the best money.
Yeah, so but everyone knows Kounde wants to leave, so there's no point paying the buyout price. He's pushed them, right? And they only got him for one season, so he had to go now. They didn't even register him, right? So why would anyone pay the buyout clause? Because the buyout clause is to bypass the club. So if you offer the buyout clause, then the club has to automatically accept, and then it's down to the player, right? But already the player leaving, so the club has to accept, cannot hold on to him, so they have to accept less. But if Barca come in, and if Chelsea are desperate, right, that might force Chelsea to keep bidding more, and Barca as well, right? And it'll get closer to the buyout clause, to which they wanted. That's what Seville wanted.
But how are we desperate when the manager said his priority is to get left-footed centre back? So I don't really get this.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Top six, guys. Top six.
Tuchel from his own mouth said,
yeah, he said
from his own mouth said
priorities to centre backs.
No. From his own mouth, he said, I want a centre back that can play on the left, that left-footed. And then he said, Koulibaly played on the left of a back four. Maybe he could do the job. But I think he won the left side. So it's all a mess. We're going for.
I recall him mainly saying, and more than once now, I think that the
I want
priority
to
for
quickly
transfers
say a
was the
big
centre
up
backs.
to Josh Viola, the queen of the house. Nice to see you here. I appreciate you finding time to join us. I hope you're doing well. Go ahead, Rodrigo. Randolph. I want us to move on from this Kounde talk.
Yeah, there's a lot of wishful thinking. Listen, Kounde.
No, but look, without even what Tuchel said, Rodriguez. I was going to say, without even what Tuchel said, right? The clubs know, right? The clubs know we need players. Even if Tuchel didn't say anything, we're out there, we're in for so many players, they know we have to get someone. That's why I said we're desperate. And if we've gone through a massive shortlist and Kounde was low on that shortlist before we got to him, then like I said, even if it's not Kounde, if it's another player, we're gonna probably overpay because they know we're missing so many centre backs and probably other players. If we start to sell some players too, if you start to see Ziyech go, maybe Werner go, and a lot of our young players go as well. If Gilmore, if we lose Broja as well, then we're going to pay big money for players.
The way you're talking is like if we have so much time, we can just sit there, wait for Ziyech to go, wait for Werner to go. Listen, mate,
I'm saying all this is like in the works. For example, let's say Ziyech has put in like transfer requests or said he wants to leave. They're like, okay, but first let us try to get your replacement first. All right. So getting Ziyech's replacement has all been in the works, and getting a club for Ziyech has all been in the works, and it can happen like that in an instance because it's all been done, right? And then we suddenly find someone, like for example, let's say we got Rafinha, Ziyech probably could have been gone. that could have been the plan. That that Rafinha was Ziyech's replacement. So maybe it was already lined up that we were going to get Rafinha and he was going to get AC Milan, and that could have happened in an instant if we got Rafinha, right? And that's not, and that's already still there, right? What the point I was going to before was we could have a situation where we've been trying this all summer, didn't work out. We go to Ziyech, we can't let you leave because we couldn't get anyone, and now you have a Ziyech that was mentally already checked out to leave the club, and maybe doesn't like the situation, and then he stays, and we have a player in that mindset, and whether he turns up and relishes and tries to get in the team, or maybe he just folds and he's like, he hates it, and then we get a bad Ziyech for the whole season. And this could happen with a number of players. Say Werner's the same as well. But all this stuff is already in the works. And yeah, we're running out of time. That's why stuff might happen desperately. That's why I put out the words. And we might have to let players go without getting and putting youth in his spot. There's going to be random. And the main point is this is how we ended up with a lot of deadwood. We went for players in desperation, last minute, right? And then they're stuck at the club for 5 years, and they're stuck in the loan army. Think of all the deadwood that people want out. That's how this happened. It was in these scenarios that I talked about, right? That's how most of them came stuck in the club. So it's probably ask yourself, should we get anyone, or maybe you get no one and just play the academy kids, play the loanees.
Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. Again, IBC wanted to say something, but it was Rodrigo that was talking actually before. I know. Before Declan come in. IBC, if you don't mind, let Rodrigo finish. Then you can say what you want to say. I want us to move on from this. Let's start looking at the alternatives out there, if you don't mind.
I think the Clash should change his name to Rodrigo as well.
Hey, you find the bus with 2 steering wheels, and then I will.
Well, go ahead, Rodrigo. Let's move on from this topic.
What I'm hearing, overpaying. We're gonna be desperate. We're gonna have to release the release clause for Kounde. At least it's not worth it at this moment. It's not worth it. I think I want to talk about alternative players to Kounde. I'm tired.
All right, let me catch up with the chat, and again, I have to respect.
Let me
go ahead. You wanted to say something, IBC?
Declare just said in it correctly. Obviously, it all roads are leading to, because it's not wrong. He's not wrong. I think the club identified that we need players. Obviously, Thomas Tuchel is stressed out after Sunday, after Saturday's the pre-season. So what made with less time running out, with time running out, we may look into a panic situation. Or we may look into a situation where we probably don't get any more, which I will accept, because I don't believe Todd Boehly has enough time or the resources to do these deals that we want as fans in a utopian world. So let's just accept that this pre-season is dry. This transfer window is just with the grace of Koulibaly and Raheem Sterling. Anyone else is a bonus at this point, because I believe if we wanted to get them, we would have got them by now. And let's just accept that the likes of Kennedy, the likes of Ross Barkley, may light us up this year, and let's just look forward to that and push behind the team, The likes of Marcos Alonso, if he doesn't leave, might be our left back. We push behind him because it doesn't seem like we're going to get anything in and or out. So that's what I have to say, and I'm prepared for it. So we prepare.
All right, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Again, I want to let everybody in the chat know I will skip. The chat is on fire right now because this is a very, very, you could say, a sensitive topic. I think what's the word I was looking for? There's a better way to phrase it. Everybody, that's emotions are running high, and everybody have a theory or the other. And this one from the Queen of the House says there's also a theory that they want to retain a good players in La Liga. Hence, Sevilla could sell him to Barca, even though they are rivals.
No, this doesn't wash. No.
Okay. So you see that. So I want to say thank you to Nick Patil for the donation here. I appreciate that. Even though I ask people, again, you don't have to donate your hard-earned cash to the channel. Your liking the video more, I prefer you doing that. But thank you. Again, I'd be ungrateful not to say thank you to you. And we have 470 participants in the poll. So I'm surprised we still have just 143 likes. We can do better than that. We're shooting for 300 likes, and you can help us get there. Please help us get to 300 likes. Like the video if you haven't. That will go along for the channel. He says, does Roman have a buyback clause? I understand what that means. Again, it's you wishing we still have him as the owner. I know I don't think there's any such thing on the contract, regarding the sale of the club to the Todd Boehly and clearly consult them. Again, whoever, I don't want to name names, they wanted to do away with him completely. So there's no chance. I don't see them agreeing to such a clause on the contract also. It wouldn't make sense because they want to do away with him. They wanted him to sell the club. So adding a buyback clause on the contract means defeats everything they wanted to do in the first place. But I get why you asked that question. And here, Michael talks football. Michael, thank you. I appreciate you finding time to join here, bro. I can't thank you enough. And by the way, we need to talk because I'm launching. We'll be launching in about 2.5 weeks now to cover the World Cup and other things. So we have a lot of collabs to do, brother. Again, I appreciate you joining. Thank you for the donation, my brother. He says, big up. Chelsea are wasting too much time on this Kounde deal. Those Tuchel comments after the Arsenal game are worrying with only 11 days until Everton game. Honestly, it is worrying indeed. He didn't look happy. He looks like he's finally snapped. I have to be honest. Again, Michael, I appreciate your donation. And bro, again, if you haven't, go and check out Michael Talks Football YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe and please do let him know I sent you. He's a good guy. He's become a friend, and he's a brother too. Please make sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Again, we have 148 likes while we still have 161 people watching. Please keep liking the video if you haven't. That will go a long way for the channel. So thank you for the donation. Thank you to Nico Patel for that donation there. We appreciate that. And Michael, thank you for that donation there. We appreciate that. So coming back to the panel, the question I want to ask is this. What you said, I want to get your thoughts on how you think Tuchel feels right now. Let's address this one before we move to the next topic. I want to start with you, IBZ.
Frustrated. You know what? Yeah. You know what? Looking at everyone. Yeah. When they're coming off the plane, coming out of the plane, getting on the coat, everyone looks tired. Everyone looks tired, like they're on. You know when you're on a holiday, and you're literally.
You just want to go home.
You want to go home. Thomas Tuchel looks tired, like when you haven't slept well and you're still jet lagged. He just looks tired. I think everyone just wants to go back to Heathrow, London City Airport, Gatwick, wherever it may be. Head back home. Even if it's poor weather we've got, just head back to England. I think that's what they all want to do, or even Europe. Just come out of the American time zone with different time zones to run with in one country. I think it's just all too much for the guys. So I think everyone's drained. Thomas Tuchel's probably frustrated because obviously he's identified the targets he needs. He understands it's a slow burner. It's a long process with obviously Todd having to help him get it done. He understands that players don't want to be here. He's kept a tight lid on it. Sky Sports interviewed him before the Arsenal game. And it was like, oh, we're happy we've got Koulibaly. We're looking for at least one more defender. The report was like, at least, he said it again, at least one more defender. So his mindset is like, he has an idea of more what he wants. And he just seems tired after the game. I looked at him when he was talking to the guys during the warm-up. You have a warm-up water break.
Yeah.
He was lamenting into them as if it was a league game, and he could just see the frustration in him. Even Amanda were looking at him like tired, you could just feel it. Trevor, they're just drinking water, like. So I believe the guy right now he's mentally tired, and he's a bit frustrated because again he feels he's not prepared enough for the new season, and he probably feels that he has to do more than one role as a director of football, helping Todd Boehly, So I believe he's a bit frustrated, but in Thomas I trust. I believe he's a calculated individual that will analyze the situation very, very methodically, and show a bit more optimism going into Friday against Udinese, and obviously next week at Goodison Park. So, right now I believe he's too frustrated, and I don't believe he's a person that will shut up. I believe he will I believe he would have spoken to Todd Boehly after the Arsenal game and say, "Look, Todd, can you see your eyes open, Abi? Now you see the problem where we did." So hopefully those type of things work hand in hand together and things are done. So he's a happy man, because I want Thomas Tuchel to be happy. Like I really want this man back, because not just the fact that he just won Champions League for us, but for the fact that this guy could be our Jurgen Klopp, our Pep Guardiola, and we're not giving him what he wants. It will turn into results probably not going our way. Then when the transfer window's over, you're not blaming Fabrizio Romano. You're not blaming Twitter journalists. You're not blaming Todd Boehly. You're blaming Thomas Tuchel. And that's the fear I have. We're going to blame Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel's going to see himself under pressure, and this guy's going to be sacked. And then we're going to start all over again. So it's a domino effect that I hope that doesn't go to fruition. But right now, I believe he's just a bit mentally tired, but I believe he's got optimism just to take it on. Because at the end of the day, he's got a squad full of players. Whether or not they want to be there or not, he's got a lot of players. So we'll see what he does.
Yeah, here's what I want to ask you, Rodrigo, before I go to Declan. What I want to ask you is this. This is not the first time we'll be going into a season without having all our transfer targets in. It has happened before, but this time I think it's different. It's different in the sense that the last preseason game, we saw the glaring existing issues in the team, and it doesn't look like we're ready. Maybe the case may well be, there's a chance the case may well be that it's a poorly planned preseason. The case may well be that the players are tired, given the training sessions they've been through, because they had double sessions on occasions. That can be tiring at first, and when you recover, you'll be fully fit. That may well be the case. But if really, based on our judgment on what we saw that day, do you think that's a chance we'll be able to bring in enough players to sort out the problems? Now, I'm not going to say before the season starts because it's impossible. Let's say before 2, 3, 4 games into the season.
Yeah, we don't have a choice. We have to. And one more thing as well.
Do you think it's possible?
Well, I like to think it is. I think it should be. But one more thing I wanted to add as well on that preseason. Sometimes it looks as if some of these players are like on holiday. Look at them enjoying going to Disneyland, taking. Man, you're there to work.
These are extracurricular activities that the team need to do to have team bonding.
Yeah, but they've given fans a reason to pick out those things and say, okay, this is the fault. But go ahead, Rodrigo.
If they were playing well, yeah, I wouldn't even worry that they went to Universal Studio, Disneyland, taking pictures, going on fancy ride. Yeah, it's because when I look at it looks as if they look like they're not fit. Like I understand. I think it's just the preseason was poorly planned. It was the traveling from LA to the other side of America,
Orlando. Yeah.
And look, you coming from, and then it's humid, it's hot. It's just it just doesn't look good.
Sorry to cut you off there, bro. And just for the American people, where's Charlotte again? Is Charlotte down south?
It's on the same side as like Florida.
Miami. Okay. So
Yeah,
they went from the West Coast to down south.
They've actually moved time zones. I think people were saying that could be a factor.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it is a factor, but I think it's deeper than that. But go ahead, Rodrigo.
Yeah, so it's that. Obviously, on top of that, you have people in the squad that really don't want to be there. So, because when you don't want to be there, you're not gonna put that extra effort, that extra press that you need to do to chase the ball. You're careless with the ball. You don't really worry much. So, from that, yes, I can see why we should be concerned going into the first 3 games. I think before the transfer window closes. Lucky for us is we only have Tottenham as a very difficult game in those few games. So the season won't be over even if we lose even if we lose 2 games on a bounce, right? It's not the end of the world. But what we need to see is what I like about Tuchel comments as well is I was on. Some people were questioning Tuchel. Is he? I think that Claire will know this. Is he a bad boy? Does he demand? Yeah, but to those people that question Tuchel's character, you can see the guy is a winner. The guy wants to win. He's not here to play about. He say, I need players. I'm gonna talk to Todd Boehly. We're gonna have a frank discussion and have the players in. So again, to answer your question, are we gonna get the players that we need by the end of the transfer window? I'd like to think so because
or maybe 2-3 games into the season.
That's what I'm gonna again. I know. Something I panic a lot, but I'm gonna tell the Chelsea fans, even if we lose the first 2 of the first 4 games, it's not the end of the world. As long as we know we're gonna get the players that we need before the transfer window closes, we will be all right. It's just. I think there's a lot of factors as why Arsenal beat us that way. Arsenal have been in Orlando. Orlando is the best camp. So they've been there for maybe a week or 10 days before. So they had time to prepare. They played a lot of games in pre-season. We haven't. We've only played 3 games. They've played 5. And they've been in Orlando for longer than us. They look fitter. That's the only thing. The difference between Arsenal and Chelsea in that game is not necessarily the quality. It's just the fitness. They were winning a lot of second balls. The passes were more quicker because the players are fitter. They can connect. You know, when you're tired, your brain and your legs are not connecting faster. So you're not pressing. You're not doing the thing that you're supposed to do with the precision. So I took a day off yesterday. I saw the stream, but I didn't want to listen to anything. So I went for a nice hike because otherwise you're gonna go mental. You need to disconnect sometimes.
Sometimes you if you can, but as a content creator, it's difficult to disconnect.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You have to suffer, coach.
I have to say I'm not suffering yet. I'm just pissed. I have to be honest. Yeah. I'm not suffering yet. I'm not concerned yet. There's still time. The only thing is that I don't think we'll be almost, you could say, 10 games into the season, and we'll still be talking about players we want to bring in.
Coach, one more thing I think was a bit worrying is that maybe because obviously we're just football fans, and if you ask someone, can you come up with maybe like 3 or 5 names that you think realistically Chelsea can get and can improve the squad? I think it's difficult. That's what you see. The market is not great, and people start panicking. You're like, what can we actually get to come in and improve the squad? When you add to that panic, you just like, oh, we're in trouble here. But I trust. I haven't lost trust yet in Tuchel and his ability to find players that will come in and improve us. So there you go.
Yeah, again, thank you very much. I said, Ziyech's new agents are Lukaku's agents, some hip hop crew from the USA.
He's the White Rock Nation.
I think he's referring to what's Jay-Z's sports management company, Rock Nation. Yeah, but I get the argument. That's a hilarious way to put it. Again, thank you so much for 129 people watching and 154 likes, but we have 105 votes. That, I'm talking about the poll. So we should have at least 200 likes. If you haven't, please take a second to like the stream and also do subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for all the support. Let me try and come up with the chat a bit because I've skipped them quite a lot. Emmanuel Solomon said Chelsea should at least try to secure Kounde's signature before Barcelona summarize the deal this evening. We could do that if we want to. There are other ways to trigger the buyer clause, but I don't want us to do that. It would be so high. I think exactly what Sevilla wants is happening, but it may not end up good exactly the way they want it, because there's a chance Chelsea will say, you know what, if you're not going to take what we offered already, you forget it, and then Barca will just take him. But that's, by the way, it says Chelsea has too many players in the team, and TT is not attracting top players to come in. Mendy should stop kicking the. That's another discussion for another day. And I do not really, again, we knew before time.
Coach,
and I think
we need to fight against this myth of Tuchel is not attracting top players. That's not true. That's a myth.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's the truth. And again, something else I want to talk about here again about unhappy players. I think before time, we knew that we're going to be quite a lot of players who are not going to be happy at the club, given some of them being played out of positions because they have preferred positions. Do I think they should be unhappy for that? I'd say no. After all, they're paid to play. But again, we knew before time. For them, for the fact they're being played out of positions, they're not going to be happy. Some has to do with, in the case of Ziyech, my argument then was that he was on form. He was doing quite well. He's improved physically. He contributes, defensively and all that. He won aerial duels, and then boom, he got dropped to the bench. Even at the time where you could argue he was in the best form of his Chelsea career because he was assisting goals to and scoring goals. But that's by the way. It's funny we're convinced Barca is broke. Never here. We told you before they're not broke. Being in debt is different from being broke. Being in debt, and again, there's hardly anybody here in the chart. Even I don't want to start calling. This is an insult. It's not a bad thing in most cases to be in debt. It happens. Most people do that to survive. Yeah. And I've seen people argue, they're selling their soul. They're selling their assets. People, you've seen people in real life, friends or family members, sell a car to sponsor their wedding, sell a house to sponsor their weddings, sell stuff they have to do something that's more present to them. And in Barca's case, signing players is more present to them than even servicing their debt. And they can sell their assets and service it. So the argument that they broke just doesn't make sense. They have rich history and they're able to sell just 10% of their assets to make quite a lot of money. That shows you it's serious misconception to think that they broke. They're not. But I get out. Chelsea just has to move on to the next defensive option. It's not that simple. It's even more complicated to try to do that. Again, I can't read everybody's comments. Again, Kachila, people got understand Chelsea when they have money. We've never seen it to push forward. Again, we still have money now. I think that money isn't the issue for us right now. I think there are other factors leading to us not being able to attract players. The argument the club made here that made sense. Even Jules Kounde will look at Barcelona. Barcelona has a better project now. They have a very good squad given the players they brought in. If you look at them, something as Rafinha, he may well have looked at both teams and said, you know what, I'm more likely to win stuff with this team. Because this, if you're looking for a job, you're looking to work for the best companies. If you want to see from your own self, how is it a time zone an issue? Here's the thing: your body adapts whenever you move from one place to another, especially if there's a drastic change in weather. Those things do affect players, but that's not what we're here to talk about. It will look as if all we're concerned about.
So we're
just trying to find excuses.
Yeah, but it's a fact. But obviously, people don't want to hear.
Mm-hmm. It is a very, very indeed a serious fact. People don't want to hear that, but that's not excuse. So much went wrong that day. It's beyond the time zone. I thought USA talk by Chelsea was for exposure to the US market. Mentioned forever here again. Yeah, we talked about it again, and I said there's a chance the planning is business is involved. Every time you go to pre-season, business is involved. Some clubs go to Asian countries to win more, get more fans there. Business is also involved in the planning, so it's not just about getting ready. But this one, I must say, is poor. Even if the time zone factor doesn't come into play, the fact that we played too few games before the season starts, it doesn't help. I don't think that's time enough to actually see what position best suits the new squad like Conor Gallagher again. But that's another argument for another day. Just said, hey, Kachila, for what is what, attacked Kounde and say goodbye to him in French. Thank you very much for saying that. That's hilarious indeed. Again, I'm going to skip to the very bottom. Let's find options. We'll look at the options available to us I want to say thank you to 534 people who's participated in the poll. Please, if you've participated in the poll, please take a second to like the video to help us reach 300 likes. That's our target for the day. I appreciate that. It takes also a second to like the video. It doesn't hurt, and it's free. And if anybody says you should pay, tell them Josh Viola and Chelsea the Kingslayer have both already paid for you. So I'm going to come back to the panel. Look, I want to ask you the same question I asked them, Declared. We've seen how much of a problem we have. The question I have for you is this. Do you think we'll be able to find at least a solution, to a considerable measure so we don't suffer too much? Because the truth is, just like every other Chelsea fan, sensible Chelsea fan have said, it's going to be a long season. But do you think we'll be able, to stabilize the ship? Again, let's say 2-3 games into the season or 4-5 games, how soon do you think we'll be able to solve the issues we have?
I think one of the major issues is that the transfer window is still open for a month after the season starts. So we still will be doing business, and still trying to solve a lot of these problems that we saw in the preseason, and saw last season, and maybe a couple of seasons, right? Are still going to be there, and it might be rough. It might be rough when Tuchel says players want to leave, and some players maybe don't feel like playing, and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be there's quite a few issues on and off the pitch for me, and I'd rather have, if players want to leave. I'd rather just see academy players, to be honest. Players that are actually going to play. They do good, they do bad. It helps the development regardless. We got players that. Imagine playing players that want to leave. Imagine having to play Batshuayi because we couldn't get players to replace him and didn't want to trust the young players as well.
I'm looking forward to Batshuayi this season. It's a breakthrough year, guys.
No. People also got to remember there's players that have been slightly injured, couldn't play. There's players that couldn't travel in the preseason as well. I think you're going to see very different teams. We could actually do really well. The teams that you see being put out are nowhere near close to the teams that we're going to play as our first 11. So exactly. Until we see that, we probably, people might not have a problem in it. People see that and we might perform. We might start great. The only problem is that I think we're going to lack depth. I think some of the players that didn't travel didn't get the fitness, and they might lack in that. And there's also 5 subs too. So if we don't have depth ready, we're behind. Yeah, we're behind in terms of throwing what players you can throw on to change the game. And I think because of that, and if we start losing, then we're going to rush to get some players in and players out during when the season starts. So for all the months in August, all the games in August, the month of August, are going to be very iffy. A player could be sat out because they're about to leave, can't use them, for example. So I have that feeling we're not going to start well, but I think we're going to find a player solution anyway in terms of transfers. I think we'll get a whole bunch of players in. Yeah,
again, it's looking. Let's see. Let me just catch up with the chat and I'll come back to the panel. I think we should just start looking at alternatives. Big up to my brother. Big up to you too. I hope you're doing well. I says, can we discuss potential targets? Yes, that's what we're doing next. Get the pay, guys. Yeah, this is a Barcelona player trying to sell, fan trying to sell us their club's rejects. Great mentality too, and get any other good defensive options. You sounded like a nice guy, but you started the way I don't like it. If it was Roman Abramovich, none of this would happen. I think he's already has.
We would have kept Lukaku. That's what.
And I probably would be talking about Lukaku, Thomas Tuchel losing his job at this point. But the fact overall, what I wanted to say is this: I don't think it missed out on all this deal, and I don't think Barca actually would be trying what they're trying right now, because Roman would say just pay. So in some cases, say pay the buyout clause, get the player, and I don't think they'd take Rafinha except if the manager says just forget him if he doesn't want to come.
Can I ask a question?
Sorry.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, ask a question.
Why do people think that paying the buyout clause would do anything, or it would guarantees anything?
It doesn't necessarily guarantee anything, but it makes a difference.
It bypasses the club.
Yeah, exactly. Which means Barcelona has to measure that fee. The fact that they've agreed Kounde, personal terms with Kounde, both parties, I think everything has to fall into place. Sevilla they have to be willing to sell, and the player also has to want to come to your club. It's not if one doesn't agree, then it becomes difficult. You get the point now. So triggering the buyout clause makes it difficult for Barcelona. It means they have to measure that.
So the objective is to what? Trigger it. And after
no,
that,
I'm not suggesting we do that. It would be too high. If I remember, it was 80 plus.
I'm speaking hypothetically. You trigger it. The player rejects you because he wants Barcelona. What's the point?
Exactly.
I'm not sure how to deal with that.
That's what I'm saying.
I think in some cases, here's the thing, Ty. If that happens, the club also, I think the player also, I think the player will be talking with his current club. The club can explain to him, look. Sorry?
A lot of time, it's once a player wants to leave, right? And once it's fine with the club, an agent will go shop him around, right? So right now, even though we were linked with Kounde for a long time, Kounde's agents went to probably every club to try sell him.
But
let me ask you this, Declared. If we trigger the buyout clause right now, the agents get to make more money, right?
Yeah, but there's no point. There's no point to that at the moment. Do you know why?
No, I'm not saying we should do that. I just want to understand something. What happens? The more fee, the club gets in a transfer fee. No, I don't think it makes sense because the selling club, they don't pay. Do they pay the agent? Who pays the agent?
Agent gets a cut of the fee. Also, I think it's Bordeaux that gets 20% of the fee as well. That's why Seville want it as high as possible, right? So Seville stand to lose a lot of money.
If Sevilla gets the buyout clause right now, will the agent make more money?
Yes, because it's a percentage, right?
So which means
and also a percentage on his wage as well.
If any club triggers the buyout clause, the agent will try to convince Kounde to take that one because he makes more money too. Plus Chelsea are paying him offered to pay him more.
Why I said it's useless because a fee has already been agreed. Why pay out the buyout? So the fee that we've offered has been agreed, right?
Yeah,
so Seville said they're happy with that. So
same situation with
same thing. Exactly. There's no point Chelsea going over the top to pay the buyout clause, right? Because in terms of the club, that's already agreed at that price. So Barca just have to hit that price, and then you bypass Seville, right? Now it's up to the player. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
But if we bid more, then Seville might say, well, we're going to go with this club now, and you have to match it. Or if Kounde says, no, I want Barcelona only, you already agreed with that price, then the buyout clause doesn't even matter. And that's up to the club. Because you have to find the fee for the club to agree. Once you find that, there's no point paying more.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I agree with you here, since apparently Barca asked Jules Kounde to wait for them while they try to sell FDJ. That might be a winner for Man United and a big L for us. I cannot cope. I am stressed. It's not just you. Like I've told you, I am pissed. You have to talk and convince the player first before pushing with the club. I think it makes sense. Again, should have. I'm not sure what that means. Hi, what's happening with N'Golo Kante? I have not seen him feature in any other match. He stayed back. He didn't travel to the United States because of his vaccination status. Same thing as Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Hi, it's my first time watching. What are your thoughts on Koulibaly? It's an excellent signing for us. And by the way, Ozzy, welcome to the channel. I appreciate you joining. And if you haven't, please keep liking the video. We're at 162 likes now. We're shooting for 300 likes. Let's see if we can get there by the end of the show. We should have let Marina close the deal instead of worrying about a PDL. Again, it makes sense. We've talked about that 1,000 times here. Whatever happened, whatever the piece Todd Boehly of, or whatever the disagreement they had, he's a businessman. and should have been smart enough to just, ride it out throughout the transfer window. Let Marina continue. I think by now, I would argue that there's a chance we could have, gotten Kounde to put pen to paper and become a Chelsea player. But that didn't happen because the moment she's out, I think Sevilla probably realized we have an experienced or inexperienced negotiator from, perspective of, football transfers politics, because there's politics involved in this thing. And then look at how everything is going for us. But that's, by the way, guys, if a release clause is paid, it's direct negotiations with the player. The club has no say once clause has been triggered. That's something I haven't heard this one before. So which means that actually will be enough to get them, but I really don't want us to do that. But that's, by the way, let's look at the alternatives. I think it's important we look at the alternatives here. I'm going to start with you, Ty, since you just joined us and you haven't spoken for a while. Let's see what we have. Again, while I'm doing that, please, if you haven't, take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have just 162 likes. We're shooting for 300 likes. So please, if you haven't, like the video. Ty, look at the alternatives on the screen here. It says Chelsea have, lined up. There's no way to tell if this is the truth. Chelsea have lined up three alternative targets to Jules Kounde in Milan, Skriniar, Presnel, Kimpembe, Josko, Gvardiol, but they're all imperfect options. I don't think Skriniar is an imperfect option. I think Skriniar is even more physical. There are things you could argue how Skriniar differ. Skriniar and Kounde are both the two different profile of players if you want to look at them in detail. But here's the thing. We should forget about Kimpembe. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. He's been saying how he's torn between remaining at PSG and also looking at other options out there. If it happens, I'd be surprised. And then for Josko Gvardiol, he plays on the left. So why should he count on the? Correct me if I'm wrong. Gvardiol plays on the left, doesn't he?
Yes, he's a left centre back and they play him as a left back as well.
Exactly. So why consider him as an alternative to Jules Kounde? Again, let me ask: is it Jules or Jules?
I think it's because Koulibaly can play anyway.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
Okay, you think that's why we consider them as an alternative? Again, then we have
those
options we have on the list
on the left. Those are ones up on the left.
Okay, so Ty, your thoughts on this list here, and which of them do you think is even possible?
The funny thing is, has PSG pulled out with Skriniar? That's the question.
They have. They haven't. We haven't heard anything about. They were priced out of them. I think Inter rejected their initial bid. I don't know if they made another bid.
Okay, so if that is the case, then that means that we don't have. If that's the case, then and PSG are no longer in the picture, then maybe there's a chance with him. But my issue is he's a good player, but I think I don't really know about us getting him in, because we don't have that carrier in terms of carry off the ball per se. I mean, Koulibaly, he's good on the ball, but I mean that's not really the strength. He's good on the ball and he can carry the ball, but that's not really the main goal that he has. Well, for how long he's been at Napoli. And Gvardiol is there. Yeah, but I don't know. I really don't know how to pronounce his name because he have lectures that pronounce with a different
Gvardiol.
Gvardiol, yeah, I don't know because I hear different things. But with him, he seems as if he's a young Rudiger replacement in the making. He's 20. He's not perfect, and I think maybe that is why in terms of the opinionated part of it, where it says imperfect options, I can understand that because all of them have some weakness. Even Kimpembe, he's good on the ball as well, but the issue with him is that he tends to have this disability of not really being able to defend spaces. Sometimes he's caught out of position, and then he has to get back and then try to defend. He's good on the ball, so each of these options have ability on the ball, but they all have their little mistakes in them, and especially Gvardiol, who is the youngest of all the options. Maybe probably could say that those are things that can probably be erased, or probably not fully, but you can minimize those mistakes. So I think maybe in that sense, possibly, I think the only one that probably is possible and is more feasible is probably Skriniar, because I don't remember the fee that Inter were quoting.
I think
Although,
PSG they rejected around something around close to. I'm not sure the amount, but PSG was priced out of out of his deal. But go ahead, Ty.
yeah. So if that's the case, I think Gvardiol was worth what 90 million, 100 million, 80 million, something around those lines.
Yeah,
So
and signing him at his age, what
yeah,
message does that send to Levi Colwell?
fight. Nothing comes easy in life. There's nothing that comes easy. Yes, he's practically 1 year, possibly months, older than Levi Colwell, because I think Colwell is 19 and he's 20. So I don't really get the narrative that, oh, what message does this send him? We need competition on that side. It's as simple as that. We never had that when we had Rudiger. It was either Rudiger, and then when Malangsar comes in, you see mistakes from him. We need competition. If Levi Colwell does stay, which seems like it's a possibility, he needs competition, and he's young too. Both of them have mistakes in them, which is why in that case, all I'm saying is that the best thing to do is probably get Skriniar, who the only weakness that he has per se is he's not a good carrier. Like for example, you'd see from a Silva who is able to go forward, but Silva is getting older as well, so that is why a carrier is necessary, because we can't really be relying on Silva. So my problem is that if you get one of these options, you're going to always have some disadvantage or something that they have a weakness in. But like I said, I think the possible one that's probably the most ideal is Skriniar. Kimpembe, I don't know how possible that is, because we keep hearing that he wants to stay, and he said it himself that he wants to stay. And Gilter, who's the new PSG manager, wants him to stay as well. So it's not worth trying to go there if it's a case where the manager wants to keep him and the player is happy to stay at PSG. So I think probably the best option is Skriniar, who is obviously up for sale. Although a part of me really don't want to do business with Inter again, but I don't know. I just think probably that's the best option, because Gvardiol wants to stay as well at RB Leipzig, and the price is not feasible, or we shouldn't be looking to spend that much on a young player when you already have a young player for free. That's the only thing I probably could say that's regarding Levi Colwell. Not because he's close to his age and the ability and everything. Probably the price and the fact that you have somebody who you didn't spend such a on. But I don't know. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah. Deals. Your thoughts on the alternatives, even if the player you want to talk about isn't in the list. And again, if you're in the chat, we have 164 likes. Let's try and get it to 200 likes at least. Again, I just don't understand how you'd have almost nearly 500 people if there's not 573 people participate in the poll, but we're barely, we can't even get to 200 likes, but it's okay. Thank you for 164 likes. That's not easy. Again, if you haven't, take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Deals, your thoughts on the alternatives, even if the player in question isn't on the list you're looking at on the screen here. All right, I'm going to let you guys, IBC, you come in, your thoughts on the list here.
Bear with me, coach. I'm just working with something. Bear with me.
Oh, okay, no problem. So when you come back, I'll bring you back in. Declan, can you come in on the alternatives we have on the screen? And if there's no, you can add to it any player we don't have on the list.
I'll show you who to add. Ironically, Emerson's been playing there. But I don't think the Kimpembe one will happen. PSG is the only one that wants to push him out. Gvardiol, I can see. I think the reason we...
If PSG wants to push him out, then it will happen.
Maybe not. I mean, Barca were trying to push De Jong out as well. So, Skriniar has been sought after. Inter not really letting go. Gvardiol is the only one that looks like they're all good. First of all, they're all good alternatives, I reckon. But Gvardiol is the one that I think is that overpaid option. I think the price has put Chelsea off or any other club in for him, because it's I think it's over what reports have said. The price, which was 60 million, I think, that's been that's pretty inflated. And like I said, if we get desperate, we might have to pay that, and it's a massive risk because you're paying for potential with it.
How about anybody on the panel want to talk about rumored interest on the Hungary international Attila Szalai? We heard, okay, it's been done. He's just going to join us the moment, the transfer window opens, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
we're not even hearing anything about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Rodrigo, if you want to go ahead with that.
Was that the guy from last season?
Yeah, we talked about him from
mid-season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about the alternative to Kounde.
I thought it was a striker.
No, for me, my ideal.
No, the Hungary did.
Yeah, my ideal centre-back would have been Skriniar ahead of Kounde. I never rated Kounde that highly. I didn't know what was the fuss about Kounde. So for me, initially, for more the centre-back if you were asking me, I wanted Skriniar from Inter Milan. But obviously now with the complication that we have there, and I think clubs also know, and this is also another risk when the manager come out and say, I need this, I need that, is that other clubs know you need this.
Then it makes it even more difficult.
So
but our case is actually obvious.
Yeah, but obviously, it's obvious, even if we didn't say anything, if you read it, yeah. But from that list, yes, Skriniar will be a good, really good back. It will be basically the same way I never read the league, and we got Koulibaly, and I was really, really happy. It's the same way if we don't get Kounde and we get Skriniar, I'll be really happy, because in my head, he should be our number one priority. He can do the job that Skriniar does, that Kounde does, and even do it better. More experience, can play I can't see Kounde playing in a back two, in the middle, or as one of the centre back pairing in the Premier League. I've got my reservation on that. He's good as a right back and maybe as a right wing back and a right centre back. But if you play in the two, I would rather have a Skriniar and a Koulibaly as a centre back pairing. That could actually could work. There's the Hungarian guy. Yes, I watched the game against England. He looks really good. Well, again, it was England on that day. Didn't really play well. I don't think that's going to happen. There haven't been any concrete links. And then with the Croatian, you're from Tuchel's comment about wanting a left-footed centre back. I would prefer Kimpembe. I would try to push the Kimpembe deal as hard as possible. If we can get him, it'll be a really good addition. Because at this stage, I'd rather us sign some players in the mid-20s or even close to 30 in defense at least. We need a solid foundation. Even if our attackers are not gonna bang this year, at least let's have a solid defense so that if we win the game 1-0, it should be enough. If we score a goal, it should be enough for us to win again. So that's why I'm a bit like, do you want to get another young centre-back who's going to come in, who's going to need to develop, be prone to making errors? This is where I think we should go in all out for Kimpembe to play on the left side. We actually do need, I know some fans were questioning, why do we need 3 centre-backs? I guess after watching the 3 pre-season games, it's quite obvious why Tuchel was going for all those centre-backs. Yeah. So Skriniar and Kimpembe for me. Those are alternatives. Alternative for Kounde, Skriniar. Please get him. Pay Inter Milan the money. You're willing to pay 55 for Kounde? Come on. That's too much. You can maybe...
Is he up for sale? I mean, not just the money.
Well, PSG tried to sign him, and I think they couldn't agree on a fee. So that tells me is you can negotiate there. This is where you need someone in the club that's contacting these people, and obviously we can sit here and say we don't think there is, but I assume from a club like Chelsea, there's definitely been some contacts trying to find out from the agent from Inter Milan.
It's not even that, Rodriguez. It's
Mm.
if he's up for sale, his agent will be selling him. Like very rarely clubs like will have to even chase a player.
What would PSG be chasing him and putting bid? They don't even those bids were rejected. I mean, there's something in the air. They know that the players is up for sale. So we need to go.
If the player wants to leave, yeah, he's probably gone to each big club and that, and try get them to inquire and get them to bid and have a little bidding war, and then that's when Inter have to exactly. Consider.
So we should go all out. If Kounde is gonna cost us 55 to 60 million pounds, I think Skriniar will be closer to those values. We should go in for Skriniar. Forget Kounde. Seriously, guys, we shouldn't be stressing over this player. If it comes, it comes. If he doesn't, he goes to Barcelona. Good luck to him. But we need to go all out for Skriniar. I can't emphasize enough how good this guy is.
That's where I'm at. Where I think that the price, I think we're willing to pay Delete. We're in this ballpark of this price, Kounde, Delete, and then I think as we get a bit more desperate in the market, then I think we'll throw big money. Like you said, we might throw the big money at Skriniar.
Mm-hmm. I don't want
or someone else.
Yeah,
I think Gvardiol was even highly priced as well. And if that's someone they were keen on, then they might have to pay it. But they would have preferred it. See, Kounde would have been probably pretty well priced for the player we're getting, and Delete as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but for me, the RB Leipzig to play on the left side, the RB Leipzig kid, I think he's a bit too young. Yeah, he's too young for me. I'd rather go in for someone like Kimpembe, 26 years old, French international, playing big Champions League games. That's what we want in our defense, because I feel like we're not going to get the attackers that will improve us that much. So therefore, we need to have a fully defense. So I think
Rodriguez, though, but if you have, and maybe this is like to the fan like that. If you have the belief that we're not going to win something next season, wouldn't Gvardiol a bit more be appealing? Someone young that can come in and he could turn out to be really great, and you're like, oh, we got this great player who's just going to keep getting better. In a season where you have the belief that we might not win much anything.
Only thing with that session declare is RB Leipzig are not selling him. They only bought him a year ago. So if you're gonna go in, and RB are known as a tough negotiator.
Oh.
So they're gonna demand the same. So they're gonna demand pretty much what you're gonna go out and pay, maybe less. A Kimpembe, for example. So I rather just go all out and sign Kimpembe for 50 million pounds than to sign this kid from Leipzig that they're not actually willing to sell him. And they're losing another.
What if, in hypothetically, what I was getting at, what if because it seems like there's some kind of barrier that we can't get over. But let's say we were overpaying for both of them and they were both the same price, right? We're in that situation. Because I agree with you. If one or the other, they're both good options. But what if you had the choice of both and they were going to cost similar prices?
I still go for Kimpembe. Here's why. I feel the Cobham fans that tells me Colwill is good. Then if you get Kimpembe, who's a bit older than him, he's not blocking his path. We've heard this word so many times this transfer window, blocking people's path. Right. If you get Kimpembe, he's not going to block anyone's path. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you're with us. There's an option. Sorry?
I was going to say, no one's blocking anyone's path. We just need players at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Rodrigo, IBC, I don't know if you're there. So if you're going to, if you want to come in, or if not, we'll move on to the next thing I want to talk about.
Yo, what's going on?
Yeah, we're talking about we're talking about the what's it called? The alternatives to Jules Kounde, because it looks like it's going to be it's going to be done and dusted. He's going to go to Barcelona.
Oh yeah, then we just see what other alternatives we have. But I've lost I'm drained, I guess, to be honest, because again, it is what it is, I guess. But if we're gonna pick out of the three, it will be past Presnel Kimpembe. Yeah,
but we're hearing his torn between remaining at PSG and coming to Chelsea, and we're talking about the right hand side, because if we don't get any right back, we're going into the season with just Reece James.
Yeah. What can we do? I said let's just prepare for mid-table clash or try and get into Europe. We can kiss Champions League or title goodbye. So we're in transition. So let's just accept it, and then in January we come again. And if Leicester can do it, let's see Leicester. Yeah, bar the Fofana injury. Yeah, Leicester actually are credit to how they do it. They don't sign. They hardly sign, and then they do well. They get into Europe. So I don't know why we can't do the same. Let's move, man.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Right, Leicester, I got time. Yeah. How you doing?
Prior to last season,
Yeah.
where did you think Chelsea were going to finish?
Just top 4, like between 4th, 3rd. I didn't think we were in any.
So prediction was right.
Yeah, 100%.
And so after the season
as well, yeah. And what it is, others have strengthened. So you got others that have strengthened, and where they have strengthened, unless Thomas Tuchel has some impeccable coaching abilities, I don't see how they are better than what we have currently. I don't see how they are not better.
I know there's an argument to make for Liverpool. Maybe they've not have strengthened. They lost a good player.
Yeah. They've lost a player, but they replaced it. So that's. But even still, I mean, you got Mohamed Salah. I mean, that's not really a.
No, I mean, like they have improved, but they haven't really digressed a lot too. So I think they're
this one on the screen is a good comic relief here. I knew something like that was gonna go, was gonna come from Mikhail, and thank you. I think we all needed that. But before I read that, I'm gonna say thank you for 101 people still watching. That's still a lot of people. Let's try and get it to 200 likes at least if we can't get to our target. Right now we have 169 likes. We can get it there. Please keep liking the video. Mikhail says a big up Blues. Sore grips aside. Okay, I get it. He says let's get someone taller in the right center back position. Someone that doesn't need a step stool to dominate aerially when defending set piece. But that's by the way. I want to quickly ask this. I think actually, even without signing another right centre back player, I think we'll be fine because Chalobah can play there. I think Koulibaly can play there.
The only problem I worry is depth, because
that is important. We can take our time to deal with it in January.
That's the only thing I have problem with.
Then we could just forget about those competitions and play with youth players.
I've already forgot about everything. I'm just here to support Chelsea, support Todd Boehly's debut season. That's what I'm here for. I'll be going to the games this year. I'll be going to the bridge. So I'm optimistic. I'm back. Coming back to the bridge. Going to see the boys. Yeah, that's before anything. But yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for a roller coaster. It's not every year we have to win something. Sometimes suffer, So how hard it is to get it. So when you get it, you cherish it. So maybe that's what we need. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna say if Skriniar wants to leave, then we should go for him. Since Paris Saint-Germain, I think they gave up on they profited his pursuit. They wanted them, but I think they were priced out of the player. Again, I'm not sure. Here, I think on the screen, I want us to look at it. Barcelona are now getting closer
Fabrice,
to
under
Jules
the payroll.
positive contact.
Under the payroll. Under the payroll for Barcelona. Telling you that now.
Go ahead, Deus. You were saying something.
Fabrizio Romano is under the payroll from Barcelona secretly. Yeah, let me tell you that now. Yeah, because from the start of Jules Kounde, yeah, he was mentioned in Barcelona. Why? Because he knew.
Okay. Okay. Now what we have on the screen says Barcelona are now getting closer to Jules.
Yes, he's on the payroll. He's on the payroll from Barcelona. He's on secretly. Trust me.
Again, that's your opinion, and there's no way to confirm that, so I'm not going to say.
But Deus, sorry, that doesn't make sense though. So
yes, it does. Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't, bro.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
It doesn't.
All right, can we just go ahead? I think if we start arguing that, Rodrigo, believe me, we'll be going back and forth because he believes what he believes and you believe what you believe. So let me just catch up on what we have on the screen here. Can I go ahead?
I was about to say, think about this logically. Yeah? If Fabrizio say, "Oh, Kounde is interested in Barcelona," how does that make it Sevilla want to sell to Barcelona? It doesn't make sense. I mean, it's not like Fabrizio.
He knows.
No, let me. Can I finish my point, and then you can see maybe I'm not making sense. Then you can disagree with my point. Yeah. Right. So if a journalist report on a player, say a player want to go to X club, does that make the deal happen because Fabrizio says that? No, it doesn't. Fabrizio.
He's a world.
I can wake up in the morning and say, I think Kounde is gonna go. Yeah. Well, you don't know. You don't know where I could be. But my point is, journalists don't have power to make a player go to a club. It doesn't happen. What happened is, if you say like you say, he's on a Barcelona payroll, is Barcelona paying him and telling him, right, we're gonna sign Kounde?
You never know. You never know. They're doing it.
So but what are they gaining from this? They're not gaining anything. It's not like Chelsea. Listen, it's not like Chelsea are waiting. Chelsea Football Club is waiting to listen from Fabrizio Romano to get information on Kounde. That's not how it works. Chelsea has direct contact in Sevilla. So whether Fabrizio, whether Gerard Moreno, all these people report, it doesn't actually make a difference in the negotiation in the table. So it's saying he's on a Barcelona payroll. He's reporting on this. Maybe for the fans, it hurt us because we see this guy reporting on that. But in actual terms, it doesn't make a difference. Whether Fabrizio,
ain't it a bit weird? Ain't it a bit weird that he shouted out that Gerard Romano guy?
Here's the thing. I think I really want us to move on from that argument. Whether or not
welcome Viola.
Yeah, here's the thing.
The Queen.
So you saw that. Here's the thing. Clubs do use media campaigns in most cases. But whatever Fabrizio does, I don't think he's the reason why he's going to Barcelona. No.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
When Chelsea were close to signing the player, when we heard Chelsea were close to signing the player, he also did put out things that, you could say he's just saying it as he's seeing it or whatever information he's getting. I remember in some cases he quotes Gerard Watt, the Barcelona Twitter journalist or whatever you want to call him, I don't know. So you can't just say he's under their payroll. No, I don't think that's correct.
100% he is. That's
okay. If you believe what you believe, but again, you're entitled to your opinion. Just Viola, Rodrigo just said welcome to you again. People, we need 27 more likes to get to 200 likes. So please keep liking the video. Chelsea are at least levels again. Breaking Barcelona are interested in signing in. Again, I would believe that. If I will believe that, believe me, it doesn't sound far-fetched. We've become a joke this transfer window. Wasted much time. That's why I argued for the reputation of the club, we should fight to get him. Gvardiol, such a great CB, and then for how much? Sell the club and buy him, Lala. You let me know. So I honestly didn't want to talk about that. Here's my theory here. Here's the theory I have. I don't know if anybody here knows that. Barca actually wanted Thomas Tuchel, but he said no. If I were Laporta, here's what I think he's doing, and I'd do the same thing. He's building a team that when he reaches out to Thomas Tuchel and say, come to us, it come. That's just my theory. We heard that Thomas Tuchel wanted Lewandowski, they got him. Thomas Tuchel wanted Rafinha, they got him. Thomas Tuchel wanted Jules Kounde. Now it's looking likely he's going to end up there. That's 3 players, and we know how much Thomas Tuchel likes Cesar Azpilicueta just because of his leadership abilities and other players there. So I think the next job he gets, that is if Xavi doesn't do well, will be Barcelona. Again, that's my theory, but that's, by the way, again, I want to get your thoughts on. I don't know. Have you talked about Attila Salazar, Rodrigo? Did we lose Rodrigo there? Ty, are you still there?
He's on the bus.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, he's paying attention to the steering wheel. Ty, your thoughts? Have you talked about Attila Salazar?
No, I haven't.
I want you to go ahead. Talk. Isn't he? Shouldn't we be looking at him? Again, he's a good option. He's cheap too, and he's got that. You could say that Rudiger spirit in him. If you've seen him play before.
And he has the versatility that Rudiger perhaps didn't really have. And I mean, if you're looking at Gvardiol or I don't even know how to pronounce his name, Josko, he also has the same versatility that he does. He plays as a left centre back and he also plays as a fullback. He played as a fullback for Hungary in the Euros, and he actually got a lot of assists. Well, not a lot, but he got a couple of assists. And I mean, he does this. I don't know what club he's at right now. I think it's I know the club, but I can't pronounce it. I think it's Fenir Hans or something like that. And he's a player that has the ability to play as a left back. So that probably would have covered the left back option. And I think based on what I've seen of him, he could be a player who could probably fill in, or not probably not fill in, but play in that position. Because of the fact that Chilwell looks as if the injury that he sustained has really affected him, and obviously it's understandable. I always said that injury can affect the player long term. It can allow him to not really be confident in his body. It allows him to lose some ability for a couple of months after recovery, and it appears that is the case. I know it was pre-season. I know that everybody was off it, but based on what I saw of Tuchel in particular, he didn't look as if he was up to the same pace, which is understandable. But I just think that you need somebody who can actually compete, and not only compete but can play in that role. That if Chilwell does need a longer period than probably expected, that you don't have any concern. So I think maybe he's an option to look at, and I'm pretty sure he'll be cheaper than going for a Gvardiol or somebody along those lines. So it'll be somebody that I think the club should look at. It's down to if the club sees him, or if Tuchel rather sees it as something that is feasible, something that is manageable, and if he thinks he's a player that should be considered somebody that could probably work in his system. But he is a player that I think probably should be considered, because I think he has the creative ability and he has the versatility that if you went for a Gvardiol, that's what he offers. So I think maybe probably on paper a better option based on the fee that probably be asked and his versatility.
Go ahead, Ty. Did we lose you?
No, I'm still there. Just that was just the end of my point.
Yeah. Again, I'm not concerned yet, but I'm just pissed at the way things are going. I'm not gonna be one of those calling, for the club to pull out. I think we should slug it out. But whatever they want to do, it's looking like you see on the screen, that Chelsea are tired of waiting for the green light, ready to explore other options if it doesn't arrive soon. I think this is something they should have done long before Barcelona, before Barcelona come into the picture. Because now it's looking like we're just giving up because Barcelona are there. Yeah. I think that's something they should learn. Go ahead, Rodrigo. You wanted to say something. It's just annoying how they waited for Barcelona to come in before saying, now, okay, we're tired of waiting for your green light. Give them an ultimatum so if they don't respond, you move on.
This green light thing, are we mugs? So Barcelona clearly don't need a green light because they're talking to Kounde. They don't need a green light, and we sitting there like mugs waiting for green light. So Sevilla haven't given Barcelona a green light, as far as I know. But to us, we're waiting to get a green light. What nonsense is this? Even Fabrizio, when he wrote those sentences, does it make sense?
It's making me hate the player, This is making me hate the player, bro.
Yeah,
does it make sense to you? If I see him, I'ma boo him. If I see him on the roads, you'll stick. Like, you know what I mean? It's just annoying. Like, what the hell? Like, why do I have to hear about this guy every week? Who are you? Who are you, bruv? Like, you get it? It's like really annoying. Like, who the fuck are you, bro? Who the fuck are you, bro? You're just a French 23-year-old. That's all. What have you won? You've won nothing. You've not even won a league. You've not won a domestic cup, a World Cup, Champions League, Europe. What have you done? Tell me, bro, that I have to waste all my summer chasing you, bro.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's a big one. This that comment is true. Yeah, like so it doesn't make sense. So we put it a bid on the table, and we're waiting to get a green light from Sevilla. A green light for what? To talk to Kounde, right? But Barcelona, in the meantime, they're talking to Kounde. They're selling him the dream. They're selling him the plan. And what are we doing in the meantime? Waiting for Sevilla to give us a green light. That doesn't make sense to me. So either both Sevilla and Kounde are playing us. And if that's the case, then I need to cut the brakes for now. No. That comment's just cracked me up. Yeah, I think we have to move on. We have to come out, obviously move on, but we need to move on with our integrity held up. Because at this moment, you just look like a joke, man. It makes our club look like we're like West Ham or Leicester City level. Like seriously, we won the Champions League 2 seasons ago. Who are you? What, you don't want to come here? Then that's it. We move on. We go for Skriniar. We go for all these defenders before it's too late.
Bro, we go League One. We go find a hungry League One defender, yeah? League One, not even Championship, League One, yeah? Who will do a better job than Jules Kounde, bro.
You know
what the hell are you talking about? Do you know what hunger is? Do you know what it is to be hungry to play football? To be an opportunity to play kickball in the Premier League, and you got one Wasim twerking for the next Spanish club. Hey, brother, bro, don't piss me off this afternoon, bro. What the hell? What are you talking about?
Yeah, here's the thing. I think Mikhail just brought up a very important point here, and I want to start declare off this one. This is same issues because same players. These are damning words from Thomas Tuchel. Him versus the squad. Suddenly, if it spirals out of control, then we're doomed. That is the truth.
That's true.
That is the truth. So, the Clyde, I want to get your thoughts on this comment from Thomas Tuchel, and how do you? What are your expectations for the club this coming season?
When I heard those words, I thought it was more for the higher ups. As a player,
you think it was a message to them?
Yeah, but I think they've probably made promises. They haven't delivered any players coming in. We haven't even completely replaced the players we lost. Maybe it's a little hurry up from them, maybe. But from what Mikhail's saying, yeah, it can spiral out of control. I don't see it like that. I think it's more players know the situation. There isn't a player that could be really happy of our season and happy what's going on. I mean, if a player's going to get upset when Tuchel says we still have the same problems, then they're probably naive to think they're doing well, to think there is no issue at Chelsea. So I think it's alright that he said that. I'm not against it.
Yeah, but we have a precedent here at this club when coaches said certain things about players, and then.
But we have a new owner, yeah. So
I think that has changed.
He's not the one I'm worried. I'm worried about the players because I don't think he was the same players.
Yeah, I was
the issue about this though.
Well, can I make this one point? The
go ahead.
There's already like a disharmony already. You know, when Lukaku came in, there was already that, right? And there's already players that wanted to leave, and this problem has probably come from those players. So if there's something that's going to be wrong, or the same issue, it's already there, and we're trying to get rid of the players. That was my worry, that these players are going to stay, or going to have to stay, and have the same issues. I mean, some players aren't just going to change, especially like experienced players. You just can't expect Tuchel to mold them into different players. Do you know what I mean? We have such a mixture of players that different systems. Tuchel's tried different ways of playing. Tuchel's done, this band. End of the day, we can all agree we want Tuchel to get his players, yeah?
Yeah. And do you know I described the Chelsea squad? The Chelsea squad is like a bat. Is he a bird? Is he a rat? Is he a mammal? Is he a reptile? He's literally a bat. He's a monster that has a different head. So you have players from different coaches. It's a mess. We need to get rid of a lot of people.
But it's probably going to take a while. And I think Tuchel's job might be safe till then anyway.
Again, I have to say, even though I've said on occasions that I'm not concerned, I'm starting to feel like I think it's going to be a poor window gradually.
Could be a poor season.
And it has to take us spending recklessly in terms of panic buying to salvage it. It's salvageable. If you want to argue that. Again, I want to ask you, Rodrigo. Ty, you can come in. Ty, come in. You wanted to say something.
I'm saying there's an issue with this though. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's different ownership, but this is a pattern that started something that PSG, even though PSG have their issues, and as well as Dortmund had. I'm not sure about Dortmund fully, but PSG thinks ready to crumble after comments like these. I'm not saying that Tuchel is wrong. What he said is not wrong. It's the same player, so you can't expect a different result. It's like you're expecting a sick person that they're on death's bed, and you expected them to recover when you know that there's no other hope for them. So I think in that sense, him saying this is not wrong, but these are the type of things that started to happen that led to other things. I'm not saying that this means that his fate is going to be decided or anything, but this is not an indication. This is something that I was hoping, because initially when we were linked with it, I was like, I'm hoping he's a good manager, but I'm hoping that this doesn't spill out where him and players start to have these disagreements and things like that. And that was one of my concerns with this whole Lukaku thing. I was because we've seen in the past where players don't like a manager, or a manager is not getting along with players or a group of players, and then we end up seeing them being sacked because of the fact that they don't get along with.
It's a familiar pattern indeed.
Yes, so that was what I was concerned. So I'm hoping that this thing doesn't spill out, like Mikhail is saying, to something that can get us moved, because I remember the French media asked them questions and they got frustrated at them, which we've seen happen in the past, but that one was understandable because they were asking them questions on things that he doesn't know about and everything, saying that, what do you expect? It's the way that I get from it is that he wasn't wrong, but the way that he said it was very blunt, and I mean, I don't know, I think he's trying to be reserved, because sometimes he would say that he's happy with the fight that we had, but he's not happy that we lost an opportunity to win an FA Cup or win a League Cup. He will say that for the sake of the morale, because the team lost a trophy and he doesn't want to bring down the mood. But these are the type of things that started to happen when it was at PSG, and I'm just hoping that this does not lead to something horrible with the players, not the head coach, because not the head coach. With the co-owners or the ownership. So I think that is the issue. So I'm hoping that this doesn't happen, because players, we do have some players that in the past have fallen out with the manager, and things have happened in ways that in the end we have to go all over again and sort of the entire building process. So I'm just hoping that doesn't happen.
Yeah, this is somebody here, King Kong, he's trying to say happy birthday to someone, and I'll highlight it for you. Happy birthday to who? I'm not sure the name. Okay, but you got your wish. The person you said happy birthday to, I hope that person sees it, so no worries. Rodrigo, coming to you, the comment, that Mikhail comment, I'm going to go to it in a bit. Do you think it's looking like Thomas Tuchel will lose his job?
Nope. I don't think he will. I think it's too early to even entertain losing jobs and stuff like that. What's clear to me is, I think at least from what I can see here, I feel like the ownership have faith in Tuchel. The only time where Tuchel loses job is if the ownership don't believe Tuchel is the right man to carry on with this project. But I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. The comment itself, I agree with them. What do you expect? We have the same issues, the same play.
But looking beyond the comment itself, this is going to unsettle players.
Actually, if you read the comment in full, there's another line. He said, "This is just an analysis of this game. I have a hard-working group, and I don't want to destroy that group." He says something along those lines. So he said, yeah, it was being harsh after that game, but he sort of like savaged that and saying he doesn't want. I still think like he has some, even the players themselves, they would know like, listen, we haven't been good enough. We need to improve. We need to do this. We need to work hard on certain things in our game. This is what we need to get rid of, the players that want to go, because otherwise that's gonna fester and become an issue. So if you have players like maybe Vern or Ziyech or people like that knocking on Tuchel's door and saying they want to leave, we should let them go, because the ones that want to stay here, to them, if you criticize them, they might take those criticism as a way to improve the game. But if someone already want to go and then they hear this stuff, I don't think they're willing to put in the effort. That's where the issue is. Get rid of people that don't want to stay here. Now the problem is there is no market out there for these players. What do we do? Question mark. Do we just cancel their contract and pay the remainder of the contract and make them free agents so they can go fund clubs, or we fund loan deals where we pay the majority of their contract until we can sell them? So it's very tricky. It's very difficult. Yeah, and I 100% agree with Tuchel's comments. I mean,
yeah, I know we agree with the comment, but it doesn't help matters. Sometimes I think what we're learning is that he snapped.
Yeah,
he snapped. We're just seeing how frustrated he's been with the lack of signings and the lack of outgoings, because it's looking like he's being forced to use the players that we're not able to sell, because it just doesn't make sense to take them more to preseason. Maybe he's preparing, knowing that we didn't start talking with players on time. Maybe he's preparing to, maybe these are the players I'm going to be left with, given that we didn't start transfer, activities on time due to the restrictions we had in place. But again, what we're seeing is a reflection of how frustrated he really is. Although those, we're humans. These things don't happen by accident. Sometimes outbursts show what we really feel about the certain situations. I'm going to come to you, IBC, quickly. We have just a few minutes to round off. And please, we're at 175 likes. We need just 25 more to get to 200 likes. Hamika says, I agree with Taran Kodna. It is not panic station, but this is how the toxicity. Mikhail, please stop typing words I can't pronounce in the chat. I'm sorry.
Oh, why did you do that, Mikhail?
But this is how the toxicity starts with Tuchel historically. That's the truth. There's a pattern to it. He better be doing some damage control internally within the dressing room, or in the dressing room, if you prefer. The truth is, because it gets worse. Even if players aren't happy and you do such thing, it gets worse. Let me try and catch up with the chat in a bit, and I'll come back to the panel. Let me highlight that comment. By the way, it's important. Anything here to read says, Timo Werner is not good enough. I don't think it's about him not being good enough. There are factors, affecting his performances at Chelsea Football Club, if you want to see it that way. Yes, we wanted to get rid of the pay, but he could be of great help to Chelsea. Yeah. So your rejects now will be of great help to us. I really don't want to see that again. That's a very polite way of saying, we give you every leftover we have at Barcelona. Ship out the bad apples and prima donnas. Tuchel has said he wants team players. Again, good morning to you, to Showtime. Let me come to you because we have a few minutes to round off, really. I don't know if I've asked you this question, Rodrigo. Do you think this situation we're seeing right now, do you think it leads to Thomas Tuchel losing his job?
I know you asked me. I think it's IBC now.
Actually, okay, IBC, you go ahead. I want to hear that from you.
Say that again, please. Sorry.
Do you think what we're seeing, because Tuchel's outburst, whether we like it or not, it's an outburst. It's a reflection of how frustrated he is. Do you think it will lead to him losing his job?
Yeah, because we have some fickle Chelsea fans that were just supporting the club in 2012, and they think everything is like FIFA Ultimate Team, where you can just chop and change very quickly. So you're gonna have fickle Chelsea fans who will call for instance after 2 results also when things don't go right. Obviously, notwithstanding the situation of why we are in this place, and they won't even take in consideration that this guy has three regimes of signings that are probably doesn't want, not his, and then they'll call for his head. Me, I don't want him to go anywhere. But you keep this man.
But it's not up to us. Because there's a chance he's already having issues with the club's hierarchy.
So obviously this was one of the segments that was being spoke about this morning on a radio show I listened to. They were talking about, they even got his autobiographer in to speak about him as a person. He's a man that goes against management. He's like a I do it my way type of guy. He's unapologetic. He resigned from Dortmund. He got sacked with PSG. So that tendency can prove to happen again if he goes against the hierarchy, which I don't think he's afraid to do so. And damn right, mate, if you feel something's not right, because I'm the one that's supposed to get the people on the pitch and get these things done, and I'm not a yes man. And if I can't get it done, I'm going to shout and scream. Mourinho did it. Conte did it. Yeah, rightly so. You know what I mean? So it's a bit of a tricky one, so because he needs to make sure he doesn't do it in a way where he looks like an idiot, and obviously there's no reason but to let him go. But he has right to lay out these concerns, because what I feel Thomas Tuchel is the only one on the planet that's actually understanding the gratitude of what we're facing here. Do you know what Liverpool and Man City have been doing? Do we really want to? Do we actually understand? They walk through teams like it's butter, like knife through butter. Do you understand? 1-0, 5-0, 6-0. They do it regularly. We want to be like that. He is stressing how much it takes to be like that. And everyone's like, oh, you keep moaning, or it's not easy. Okay, cool. It's not easy. I'll keep moaning. Let's move on. And we are where we are. We're going to be sixth. What do you think we're going to be first and second? Do you really think we're third? Do you think before Christmas or before we break up, we're going to be in like a 3-horse race? Who's going to be the striker to up our goal difference? Who's going to be that guy? So Thomas Tuchel is right to be angry. He's right to be, because he's projecting what none of us are looking at. But he's projecting the season. He knows what he had last year. He knows what he needs to improve. He's seen other teams. He's seen everybody else strengthen. He's like, hang on, am I here to challenge, or am I here to just be part of the numbers? And we're seeing it. So yeah, he's right to moan. I'll moan. I'll even moan times 2. I'll do more than him. I'll do more than him. I swear. He's very, very calm. Because at the end of the day, it's his head that will be on the chopping blocks. Not the players, not Todd Boehly, his head. So let me scream now before you go and chop my head off. And then when we do sack him, we'll be like, oh yeah, oh he was right. Oh yeah, he was right.
Actually, here's the thing. I think the whole thing about sacking him comes down to his relationship with the hierarchy, like you've alluded to. Again, if it breaks down, there's a problem.
Yeah.
The truth is, the manager himself, if he wants to leave, even if you want to keep him, it won't work.
No.
If he wants to leave, he leaves. Even if you want to keep him, it won't work. That's another. A prime example is Sarri's case. We wanted Sarri to remain. Sarri wanted to leave. In this case, if Tuchel is fed up, but I don't think it will happen, because I think the club would want him to stay, because he was there with us through, thick and thin, and the fans love him for that. He carried himself so well during the whole, sanctions conundrum, Roman Abramovich and all that, the sell of the club.
We should have overlooked that part. We should have overlooked the situation we found ourselves in.
That's the truth. We shouldn't overlook it. But then again, if he feels like he's not being, backed enough, he may well decide to leave. We're seeing a similar pattern that we saw again, but it hasn't boiled down to him having issues with the hierarchy. But it usually starts with his relationship with the players. It happened at Dortmund. It happened at PSG. It usually starts with his relationship with his players and signings too. But we'll see. I hope he doesn't get to that, because I want him to stay. I want to get Declan's thought on this particular topic. Yes, Rodrigo, you go ahead.
Just one sentence here. So IBZ, maybe declare you, because we've been on some argument with some people. So I'm hearing Tuchel is not a yes man then, is he?
Of course he's not a yes man.
Declare
some people think otherwise.
We know this reference.
Of course he's
not. Tuchel is a very principled individual. Again, he's very proud. I don't know how else to say it. He's not a yes man person. He always speaks his mind. Some managers when we were still going through the whole Souls and sanctions conundrum, when asked about what he thought about the Ukraine-Russian conflict, he was open. Some managers would try to bottlick Roman a bit because they're not sure what's going to happen. But he was clearly saying what was happening isn't good. It's not, but I don't want to talk about that so we don't go down the path of politics. I want to bring in Declan because we have just a few minutes to round up and I have something else I want to take care of.
I'm going to love you and leave you guys. I've got to head off. But yeah,
no problem. Thank you, brother. Thank you for always finding time to join us. We have 97 people watching. And again, we have 179 likes. We need just 21 more likes to get to 200 likes. Let me try and catch up with the chat before I bring in Declan. Chelsea need to go to Debo. He's a fantastic player. He's a player I don't know. Tuchel needs to be given time. Sacking him will not help. It will not help. But again, it comes down to how he carries himself in this. You could say trying times for him, the club, and everyone else. And he started well. He carried himself so well during the sales issues and the sanctions. So why give up now? But then again, what we're seeing is that he's frustrated. I hope it doesn't boil beyond that. The temperature of which it's boiled to right now was not the great Barca. Again, yep, thank you for saying that kindly. And by the way, Madhav, please pay attention. We'll be launching a sister channel in about 2.5 weeks. And I want you to be part of it because we'll be covering Barca, every club in the world, and in every country. So I want you to be part of that. Says we should keep TT. No matter what happens, he got us the championship, and he's got to a lot of titles. We had the opportunity to win even more under him. So if we pay attention to that, let's try and get the players he wants, even before we think about letting him go. Thomas Tuchel is not a long-term manager. I feel like he is the same as Conte, not the same as Conte, maybe Jose Mourinho, or only useful for 1, 2, 3 seasons. I don't think that's the case, but I get where that argument is coming from, given how long he stayed at Mainz, Borussia Dortmund, PSG, and now Chelsea. But
it's only been 2 years.
Yeah, because usually history has the tendency of repeating itself. Rudy got the best CB for Chelsea, but he was sold without proper replacement. I just don't get what is in Tuchel's mind. Tuchel wasn't the reason why Rudiger was sold. He wasn't even sold. Rudiger left on a free, and I think Rudiger wanted to leave on a free because he'd get more money if he left on a free. Batshuayi, Barkley, Aspia, Alonso, Kennedy, Jorginho, and Kante are all entering final year of their contracts. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe you should just take out most of them and let them go, and then, it's a rebuild already. Tuchel said that. He knew that, not by design, but in fact because we lost about how many players. He knew we'd be losing quite a lot of players who aren't happy because of the way he plays them. Some are living on a free and all that. Sacking him is a bad idea. It is indeed, but it's not up to us. So I want to come back to the panel here. Anybody else want to add to anything to everything we've talked about?
Can I add this?
Declan, sorry, go ahead, Ty, but I was going to come to Declan. But go ahead, Ty. When you finish, I'll go to Declan.
Let him go.
No, go ahead, Ty.
It's about it's just it's one sentence. I think if Tuchel does leave, I think probably by his own free will, because I think he may look at the fact and said 2 summers in a row I've had to endure this. The only difference is that the 2 signings, one was although this time is 2 permanent ones, is that those were actually players that he wanted. So in that sense, he probably may say that okay, there's some improvement, but it's the same story. It's the same song, but different verse. So I think if he does leave, I don't think it's probably him getting sacked. I think probably by his own free will, saying that the situation is not different. It's just that I have 2 signings that I wanted.
Thank you very much. I think that makes perfect sense. What I'm seeing now, all the tweets I'm seeing is the usual thing: Chelsea fans being in denial. Tuchel never wanted Kounde. Kounde was never Tuchel's priority. No, those are just us denying all those things. I think if it's gone to Barca, it's gone to Barca. But here's what I like here. Chelsea are starting to do what they should have done long time ago. If Chelsea pulls out right now, as they're trying to do, if they don't get any sort of response from Sevilla and Kounde, they're going to pull out there, and then they end up getting a lesser fee for the player. I like that, really. Just to round off, I want to get your thoughts, Declan, on everything we've talked about. But before Declan speaks, please take a second to go follow these, exceptional, excellent panelists. You see Declan, you'll find him, Rodrigo Rodriguez, you'll find him, Titus, you'll find him. And also, check out Titus' YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe and do let him know I sent you. And please don't forget to do that. I'd really appreciate it if you're able to do that. Again, also do follow Chelsea's Perspective on Twitter. And if you want to become part of the panelists, send me a message. You're welcome to do so. Go ahead, Declan, your thoughts. Do you think he will lose his job?
Nah, no chance. I think everyone still has the mentality. Everyone still thinks Roman's still here. And we're going to do the same things. I don't think anyone's used to what other clubs do and what the norm is. A lot of other clubs give managers quite a bit of time. Chelsea were the exception. Chelsea were actually did things different, and people still have that almost PTSD, that worry, like they want Tuchel, but they know our club used to be ruthless. And I think there is no history in Boehly's sporting history of how he runs even in his American clubs where he sacks ruthlessly. And so I think there's a plan. I think Tuchel might even get a free pass this season. Come a director of football, they work together, and then they work towards a plan. And that plan could take maybe 3 seasons, for example, right? And that means Tuchel has 3 seasons to try to complete his plan. And it's looked at it very differently. Do you know what I mean? It's a long-term thing. And I think the only difference is that Boehly wants a good start of his new leadership. That's why I think they're willing to throw money. But if it wasn't the case, I think this would be a slower process to make sure you get the right players, the director of football, make sure everything's working in sync, and they know it's going to take some time. The only difference was that Roman had to be now and cut through and put a lot of pressure on managers and people that used to get sacked so easily. So I think there's a new, different mindset here, and I think he's safe. And I think that he might even get a free pass just for the fact that maybe he was promised so many players, and let's say it doesn't happen, and he tells him, "Look, you do the best you can, really." And then
thank you very much, Declan. Thank you enough for finding time to join us again. I want to just quickly update people here. Again, that's a good comment there from Sri Kumar. Again, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Please do let me know. Please update on the transfer again. You hearing everything, Kounde? I think it's looking like it's finally over. But we'll see what happens. Maybe if Sevilla, if they really want money, then their best option will be to take Chelsea's option. Maybe because Barcelona are promising more upfront. We'll see what happens again. It's not over yet, but it's looking more likely. The whole thing is swinging towards Barcelona's direction. PSG are asking for 55 to 60 million for Kimpembe. Inter Milan are asking for 60 to 65 for Milan Skriniar, who is appreciated by Tuchel. Concrete negotiations will start with other targets soon, if no green light for Kounde. Why is Kounde so again? Kounde is just like the biggest elephant in the room. We're in the traffic right now. It's just annoying. But that's, by the way, a part of the Chelsea fan base already want a Tuchel gone. That's the truth. Well said, Mr. Kingsley Rudiger. If he wanted to stay, he could have waited for Boehly. Yep, that's the thing. He wanted to leave. He wanted big money. Tuchel should lose his job if he was shouldn't lose his job if he was working with a self-appointed interim DOF. Yep, again, Boehly. Again, Boehly would have to take some of the blame for the transfer window. Again, I think it was just, I would say, arrogance. He's a smart man. Yes, he didn't become a billionaire by being stupid. But no matter what happened, if I was him, or if I was one of those, I would not for any reason let Marina and Petr Cech leave, just how do I phrase it? Leave, what's the word I'm looking for? Just leave the way they left. I think it just doesn't make sense. It leaves us vulnerable because they are,
What
they
would
are
you have
new
done, Coach?
to the politics of transfer window. Go ahead.
What would you have done?
Let them stay till the transfer window closes as promised before. At least,
No,
believe me,
what happens if they wanted to leave, though? Would you just tie them down here?
that's the way you find common ground because something happened that triggered their departure. Even Petr Cech followed suit.
Yeah, I think that I'm now regretting them leaving. I think it was good. They had to
They
go.
should have stayed. Declan, I know you sound like you understand how business works. During transition period, it's very important to have those in the former structure for a certain measure of time, so you get acquainted with the way the whole things are done in the football world. It's different. Even if you think Marina was bad, endure it to a certain measure, even at least for the Kounde deal. Let her finish up with it.
Yeah, but
if my belief was that, and it was almost hinted that they were going to stay for the summer, but I think they wanted to leave. I think they had a clash.
I don't think they left on a good term. Forget the nonsense that they're going to be,
they didn't live on a good term, and they left them in their own right? But people were saying, well, we should have let them stay, like it was up to Boehly if they wanted to leave, to say, no, you can't leave. I mean, people, why couldn't it be the other way? Why is it that Todd Boehly got rid of him when it makes more sense to keep him in the summer, which Todd Boehly would have wanted?
Yeah, I'm more excited about the names on the screen, to be honest. Kimpembe and Skriniar. Please do anything to get these guys. Come on, we wasted so much time chasing Kounde when we could have just invest our time chasing these two guys.
Let's see what happens, because maybe it looks like every time Barcelona get one on us, we get very serious about the next one and then get it done.
If Barcelona start targeting Skriniar, I'm just gonna lose it. I'm gonna travel to the Camp Nou myself and protest.
I agree with you. Again, I want to say thank you for 94 people still watching. That's up. At one point, we have 300 people, and then the numbers keep reducing as people leave for work or something like that. Werner plus cash from Mukwele. We'll see if they will agree to that. Maybe Arojo. Is it Arojo? Is that how you pronounce it? From Barca.
Yeah, that's not how you spell it. That's not how you spell it.
We don't want anything. We don't want anything from Barca again. I don't even want us to buy. I don't even want us to go buy what's his name, De Jong, because we're giving them money to do even more business. Boehly can still get Edward Michel Ragnarik as the new DOF later on, but this window is like a hands-on experiment for Boehly and should be excused. Again, I wouldn't even experiment. He's a smart guy. What I will do is, go to some of this DOF, say, I need your help here, and I'll pay you for it. Freelance, maybe, if that's the word you prefer. They will do it if they're not, they don't have any job now. And to them, it will be an opportunity to make quick money, an opportunity to show you what they're capable of doing for you to hire them permanently as the club's DOF. Don't make assumptions. They continued until Kounde had his, again.
Can I reply to that? Because I was typing it out.
All right, quickly. Before the clip comes in, we need just 10 more likes to get to 200 likes. Please, if you haven't, take a second to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Right now, do you think Tuchel will lose his job? 43% says yes. That's a large number. 44% now and 56% says no. That's a lot of people want him to leave. But again, that's by the way, majority wants him to stay. Go ahead, Declan.
Can you bring up True Blue's comment again?
What's it? Is this one?
Yeah, since True Blue likes to try to correct everyone, it's a bit of an oxymoron in this comment, because he told me he's telling people not to make assumptions, but he's making an assumption as well. I called it an assumption. I said it could have went either way, but he said don't make assumptions, but they continue to work on it. We don't know if they worked on it. We don't even know what they're doing. We don't know nothing, and that's why we make assumptions. We're making best guesses here and what sounds common sense.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Again, I want to say thank you to everybody on the panel. Again, I appreciate all your contributions and those in the chat. Thank you for the tribute. Thank you to Just Viola, the queen of the house. Thank you to Viham. And thank you to Madhav Kumar. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. Thank you to Chelsea the Kingslayer. Thank you to every other person that was part of the conversation. I cannot thank you guys enough. Again, I hope to see you later in the evening. If there's any need, to host another show today. If not, I'll see you guys during the Blue Morning Show tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. God bless us all, and cheers.